and just starts like
Okay, and let's go to this
No.
picture.
as like
They
blood
stay
starts like
hydrated
flying
and
everywhere
not-
as it's like and now it's like coated like in the front of it with blood as it's just like
Sorry.
digging around like splashing.
No, somebody made a
Intimidation
full
at
leather
least.
suit.
Hydration is a conspiracy created by Nestle to get you to buy their water bottles.
Precisely.
Dun.
Dehydration is the perfect human form.
All right, let's get this party started in here. So
The peak of mankind.
I gotta zoom out a bit
This is
because it's a
the
little too
peak
much.
male form. If you
There you go.
disagree with it, I'm sorry. Just a dehydrated husk.
All right, ladies and
There's a nice
gents,
sense there.
we're up and running now. So let's get this party started.
We have to keep our conspiracies to the side then.
Yep. So
We'll save that for the hidden Thursday stream.
yeah, there you go.
Let's not get there though.
Only smacks.com.
Yeah, keep promoting that external website for sure, and then we'll see how many hits we get on that. All right, so last episode and drama de El Smixo. Our heroes have fought off the tide of undead for now. With the rear cave system now blocked with large boulders and debris, the citizens of Kagrum have bought themselves time for one final stand. The undead will find their way through, however, so it is now up to our heroes to find some way of evacuating, I should say, the city before they are all massacred. Perhaps the sudden unsealing of a mysterious lab deep under the city will have some answers. And thank you for adding that. They will be shoveling dead as of now.
Yes, we
Make
are.
sure to have them all blessed.
So that's where we're at right now.
Is this the part where we start the coffin dance, or is that later?
I think that's later, actually.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun,
All
dun,
right.
dun.
Dun, dun.
Everybody roll performance.
Move this stuff over here so you can't see it. Ha, ha, ha.
Well,
Where's my
suppose
character?
I can do that.
There you are.
He's there. Just way at the bottom. The other,
Yeah, I found it.
yeah.
Damn, I'm jamming.
Oh, wow. Very impressive.
Damn, I rolled a 7.
I
Sad.
played
You're doing
with my,
fantastic.
this thing.
The important thing
That
is
was
that you
new.
tried. That's the
The
important.
important thing is that everyone's rolling above a 10.
There you go.
The
Very
good.
good.
Prize. I want
Hold
you to-
on.
Is Alwyn dancing or is she just watching on in disgust?
Or is she still unconscious?
Oh shit!
Oh, yeah.
She's breaking down.
That's normal oust rolling a 20, apparently.
Touch the minds of other
Or
creatures.
you know.
Oh man.
Uh,
I wonder if that song is
You just-
copyrighted or if we can actually play that on stream. Probably is copyrighted. That'd be disappointing.
oh, I forgot about the sketchy well mark. Oh,
Yeah.
portal to the unseen. Regardless. Ignore the bit over by the statue.
Yeah. Don't worry about that. It's
What
fine.
exactly are we going to be doing now?
So,
Oh my.
there are several points of interest that I can point out to you guys, and you can decide whether or not to visit those areas. So,
To be interested in them.
there is that the Felvin Shrine still. It looks to be still intact. There is a large triage center made up in the center of the refugee camp over here. That is where Cedric was last seen, helping the dwarven clerics
Ignore
bring in
that.
the dead and heal them. And then there is also what seems to be some slight commotion over at the Golden Anvil Tavern. There is a large group of gathering out front of the tavern itself, and it seems to be a bit of a ruckus right now. You see several citizens running around, just kind of like the whole place is in chaos right now. People are like gathering up their things. They're breaking into other shops and things. It's like just complete and utter chaos going on right now. Shopkeepers are attempting their best to try and keep out the rest of the citizens and refugees from stealing from their shops and stores, but to no avail. There's too many of them, and the shopkeepers are either pushed down or beaten as they are broken into and their shops raided.
You're ruining the economy.
Yeah, it looks
oh
like
no! What
the-
will we do with it?
the whole city is in panic right now.
Sorry.
It kind of seems like everyone's trying to gather as much shit as they can and just get out of Dodge, essentially.
Okay, so from the last session, I think I remember we need to slacken the recruitment standards for the army to fill the ranks that were lost. So we're arming children and young people, old people,
Child labor.
And women.
Yes. And women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, they were in the army already.
Or strange
But they're also dwarven women, so.
There are,
Yeah.
but you can't really
Oh.
tell the difference too much because both have beards. So. It's kind of hard to tell
That's
under all that
dwarf
armor.
racism, but I'm not gonna judge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so after shoveling the corpses, I'm gonna start driving the slaves and such.
I could
Let's call
see
them
Morgak riding like a dwarvish equivalent of just like a backhoe, just like shoving bodies into a mass grave.
Morgak, make a ride check.
What do I roll?
That would probably be. Is there like a ride equivalent? I don't think there is.
No.
Roll athletics.
There is,
Well, if it's a machine, you can
probably-
pick either
it'd probably be
Arcana or
Dex-
animal handling.
it-
Make your choice.
It'd probably be dexterity save, just to try and keep them on the
Riding
thing,
is the
Save.
dex-based
driving it.
skill.
Dexterity to kind of like keep it in place and push it around and make sure he doesn't drive off to the side into like other people, kind of thing.
It's a save. I have advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay? I've got danger sense.
Like
so
what?
do we cremate the corpses or we,
The-
just...
The druid version of Morgak can be seen just kind of like in his mech, kind of like shoving them into the trenches to be burned, basically.
They died with honor.
I love the smell of burnt flesh in the evening.
Love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Magical napalm. It's great.
Magical
Napalm.
napalm magic.
Yep.
He's just making that Kronk face where it's like, perfect.
Yeah, it could happen. Yeah.
Oh, would you look at that? There are some catacombs I gotta go explore. I'll see y'all later.
Oh, Jesus.
I got called away, like I expected.
Well, I mean,
All right.
how long are you expecting to be?
It's,
However long it takes to eat.
yeah.
Take a munch of pie and say, see ya.
Okay.
I'll be
Nice.
back.
Good luck.
Enjoy your shepherd's pie, traitor.
Betrayer.
Are you talking about this particular image?
You're right.
Yep.
God,
Exactly. just so
it's
perfect.
like go up.
That's more of me at the moment. I'll see you in a bit.
All right. Talk to you later.
See ya.
All right. So Alwyn's just like, you know what? I think I
She
left the
just up and
stove on. I'm gonna be right back.
What's she talking about a stove for?
I think he's a traitor.
Hmm.
Man, I can still hear you bastards.
I'm gonna roll an insight check.
Piles
Let's see
dead
what
and
we
Masquerade
got.
fits like a glove.
I don't trust it.
No,
I gotta write it
she wasn't talking about a stove, that's for sure. You're not entirely sure what she was going on about, but she just disappeared into the shadows like she always does.
Normal. I was just like, no, she's probably going to go sleep with that one paladin again. Oh well.
Hey, where's Owen?
Yeah, stove is code for snoo. That's what it's for.
Oh,
Presumably, sleeping around, I'd assume.
She needed to take a nap with someone.
mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, it's either
As
that or
expected.
drinking. I'm uncertain.
Yeah. Any hoozles. So where do you guys want to go? You have like the whole city to take a look around in.
Well,
Okay,
I
Sam.
think the biggest priority is probably speaking with the leaders of the armies and making sure things are working right.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and more because I would whisper to him. Actually, I would telepathically tell him, Morgak, because you are the least possible person to, take the book that we need for the portal thing. Who do you think took the book? I trust you the most here.
I don't know who would take the book.
You didn't need to.
What?
Okay. Nothing.
I mean, don't we know who the Stonebeard book was handed off to? I thought we
I'm
actually
looking
knew
through
that.
my notes and I don't remember. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, okay, out of character. We need that book for the portals that Parent took and didn't tell us, So we're searching for it, right?
Yeah, you're basically looking for the last person you're pretty sure had the book, and that's Perrin. But you don't know where he is right now. You have to look around.
Yeah. Actually, we're not sure if he has the book, so we're
You're
still,
not sure, but Perrin is still missing. You guys are just like, well, where the shit is this guy? Like, you just kind of like
Hey, where's
disappeared.
Parent? Doopy. What?
The last you probably
see what
saw,
goes around
the
the
last you would have seen of him,
Agent P.
the last you would have seen of him would have been on the wall with the drow archers firing down at the undead. That's the last you remember. And then there was that big explosion, and then everyone just kind of like got thrown off the wall. So you have to figure out if he's even still alive at this point.
Oh, excellent. So now we have to go excavate things and do investigatory stuff.
Okay,
That's
so
fun.
who's doing what? I'll probably be going for the book,
I mean, we're moving stuff around, so I'll come with.
You guys
Alright.
can go search for the book. I need to go speak with, generals and ascertain the situation, losses, so on and so forth.
Yeah, and make sure to tell him, to get more people here. Should
All
we
right.
try to do something with the broken wall?
I mean, you could attempt to
Yeah, we
organize
can't
the
really leave
remainder of the militia and the drow and see if they can start reinforcing the wall as best they can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we need
Paladin
to
Morgak
kinda-
will help out with that and his mech as well.
All right, so we'll say that you guys talk to the remaining militia, and the Druid Morgak will command them and help them out rebuild as much as they can of that wall. The drow and the militia will help with that. The remaining dwarven guard is attempting to keep the peace, but to no avail, obviously. They're trying to maintain order, but it's just getting worse and worse. And because there's far less dwarven guard available to keep the peace now, it's becoming increasingly apparent that the mobs are growing in anger and rage and size and weaponry because the military stocks have been raided now. The dwarven armory is empty. And there are people running around with axes and large pikes and armor that is either too big or too small for them. And they're taking everything.
Maybe we can frighten them with big-ass corpses of the undead monstrosities.
I was just thinking of taking their axes.
There's
But, they'll probably be more inclined to be peaceful when they see what we fought after. Because
We
they're
wanna
probably
drag
making
one of the
chaos.
corpses of big guys and just throw it down and say, "Behold."
Yeah. Good luck with that if you don't help us.
They just wanted me to set the table.
Oh, okay.
Welcome back.
I'll come back.
I mean,
I will say
you're
that
going to-
with the amount of
Eventually, yes.
with the size of the mobs that are growing within the city right now, the likelihood of you being able to keep the peace yourselves is becoming less and less apparent. There's something you're going to have to do, maybe calm them down, give them some sort of like reassurance, something to try and like keep the peace, because right now they're all freaking out and they're probably just going to
Actually,
try
I
and
think I can try
attempt to
to do
leave
that
the
because
city.
of because of the telepathic, mass speaking to everybody. So I'm just gonna need a high spot to. Sorry. I'll be back in a minute.
Fine.
Basically, trying to calm down them with the awakened mind thing.
All right, so while Hivsam attempts to do that, Oust, you said you were going to try and talk to the generals, and Morgak, you said you were sifting through the rebels to see if you could find Perrin?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Oust, we'll go to you then. You're going to be heading towards the foreman's house, because that is typically where you ended up meeting majority of these generals and head runic wizards.
Yep.
So you go into the foreman's house. and it's just as chaotic in there as it is outside. There's papers and parchment strewn everywhere on the floor, on the desk. The foreman looks completely disheveled and just like his eyes are just wild with nervousness and just like fear of what's going on outside and what he needs to do. He's got one dwarven wizard yelling in his right side, and he's got a lieutenant yelling into his left side. The lieutenant is basically saying, we need to gather up as many of these people as we can, and we need to get the hell out of this city. We have to open the gate, and we have to run. The wizard is piping up and saying, hey, no, we have this thing that we ended up finding. We're not entirely sure what it is, but it could be our only chance of getting out of here. And he shows him like this parchment that shows this mechanical sort of circle, giant circle with weird looking apparatuses attached to it. And it kind of looks like it's maybe coal or even like magically powered. And he says, this is exactly what we need to be doing right now. We have found a laboratory sealed deep underneath the catacombs of the Dwarven City. During the explosion, it seemed to have revealed this lab to us, and the door is shattered open. We have some people looking through it right now, and it looks to be something that Stonebeard was working on. And he shows him this book that they ended up finding as well.
Hold on, they found some secret lab.
Yeah. Underneath the city, which is instantaneously like, oh wow, there was a lab underneath that catacomb, all right. Real familiar sounding.
Super convenient too.
Just
Hold
so
on a
happened
second.
that there was also some kind of magical transportation device there.
Also super
Oh, that
convenient.
Do we have any
We
idea?
were really lucky.
For now,
Thank
you can say
you,
that
gods.
Owen followed after Oust so that you can just have her do something before you go.
Congratulations, you have a short elf companion. Have fun.
There you go.
Another one to the list.
just like point at enemy.
Morgak is
All
probably
right,
going to be extra annoyed again. He's like, where do these elves keep coming from? It's like they're freaking weeds.
They're multiplying.
Well, technically, the biological term is the closer connection is a fungi.
Get off my lawn.
All right,
Old
so
man Peacebringer.
so what do you want to do, Oust? Do you want to side with the lieutenant, or do you want to side with the wizard, or just try and calm things down a little and come up with your own plan? It's up to
I
you.
definitely want to more side with, not the wizard, because I don't particularly trust the work of Dagon at all. Any
is
input
fair.
from Owen on this?
Well, I was actually going to side with the wizard,
You
not
want to
trust
side
Dagon.
with the wizard.
but I
After-
trust magic.
Known that it requires extreme amounts of power to make the thing work.
Yeah, fair.
And that.
So I'm going to grab some water. Be right back.
Okay.
So, I'm going to put this bluntly in the case of no point in escalating anything yet until we can figure out how much time each is going to take.
Mm-hmm.
Which one's going to be more efficient, how much of our resources do we have to devote to each, and so on. So, give me a rundown.
All right, so the lieutenant goes first, and he says, with the rioting that's going on right now and the fact that everybody's shops is being broken into and people are panicking, it would be in our best interests to convince them that we should leave in an orderly fashion, gather what belongings you can carry, along with all horses and carriages that can carry the most crucial supplies, such as food and water. None of these trinkets and jewelry they seem to be holding on to. And we open the gates, and we escape back to the elvish cities that are still intact, that we know of. And the wizard says, you want to go back to the elvish cities and hope to God that once we reach there, they will be both still intact and not overrun with these tentacled monstrosities? That's completely absurd. We need to stay here. This is our home, and we need to figure out a way to get this apparatus working. I already have several arcane magicians looking into this, and they seem to have found a way to decipher the code in this book. But we need someone to activate it, and we don't have any of what is asking for in here. We need someone to look at it and find out what we need and get it quickly.
Well, isn't that the problem there?
And then the foreman says, like, there's no guarantee that what we need to power this machine is even in this area, let alone if we can find it.
Far too much of a bull.
So that's kind of where they stand right now. Catacombs is not identical at all to the portals that you have found in your travels. It was manufactured by Stonebeard. He made a portal for us. He studied the crystals that were required to power it. He knew how to work it, but he was missing a crucial element. He was missing the purple crystal that he would have needed to activate it completely.
Don't we run into some of those in the Underdark?
When he mentions that purple crystal, you immediately remember back to when Kronox showed up last and snapped off a piece of his crystal and handed it to you. It was purple.
Oh! You mean this thing?
Yeah, we had like red one from before and one more. I think we need to find a yellow one.
There were 4 crystals that exist. They're the red.
He gave us.
Oh,
The-
blue one too.
Yeah,
Red,
you,
blue,
the
yellow,
red,
and purple.
blue, yellow, and purple. Yes. So you currently have a red and a purple. The ones
You
that are
have purple
missing
crystal.
are the blue
This one?
and the yellow. So yeah, the wizard looks wide-eyed and surprised. He's like, "How did you find that? Where did you find it?"
It helps to have friends in high places.
It's
But,
a kind of magic.
She will actually do like the little da-dun thing.
Put it down as divine intervention.
If that is the case, I can show you to where the portal is, and you can get it working. Yes, we like I said, we have the book. We believe we might even have the cipher to break the code.
Him handing this to us is more or less a direct telling for us to use that. Damn, I'm dragging. Fine. Point us in the direction that we need to go.
Of course, and he beckons you outside of the foreman's office, and he leads you down the path to where it was the lab was found. Now we'll go to Morgak. So Morgak, you've been sifting through rubble. You haven't been finding a whole lot of stuff, unfortunately, outside of undead and dwarven bodies. You have no sign of Perrin whatsoever. It kind of seems like at this point it's a futile effort. The other Morgak who has been digging through bodies will say that you asked as well, and he says that if he comes across a elvish body, he will definitely let you know, but right now he's just clearing the battlefield as best he can with the rest and helping fix up the wall.
Alright. seeing that the wall is pretty much taken care of at the moment, with everybody working on it, he'll go back and help Sam do crowd control then.
Okay. All right. Hifsam, are you back?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, buddy. So you're up. You're trying to
Right,
get these riders to stop riding. Where are you going specifically in the area? Or are you just like telling out a psychic sort of...
I'm looking for a beacon place. So basically, I would probably be climbing the statue thing,
Yeah,
that
makes sense.
looks like a place to oversee people.
Okay, so we'll say that you managed to get on like the arm of the statue, and to your, I'll say to your rear, so 13, you see a handful of people running out of that store with armfuls of potions and jewelry. As they're running, a couple of them trip and smash some of the potions on the ground. Some just kind of dissipate into mist. The others just kind of burn a hole into the ground or just kind of like spill out with no effect. In front of you, where you see the tavern, you see a large mob of people breaking into the tavern itself and starting to pour in and raid it.
Okay, I'm writing a speech. Give me a minute.
Okay. While he's...
407 years ago.
Fathers.
While he's writing his speech, is there anything you want to do, Morgak, or you just want to, like, hang back for now?
He just walks in, he sees the chaos, he looks up at Sam climbing, he just clicks his boots and just flies up and looks at him like, alright, what's the plan?
I'm gonna try to hold a speech. If they go after me, get me out of here.
Alright, you're just gonna land up and get onto the top of the statue and I guess just take a seat?
Okay.
No, Rivsam,
Last minute-
stand on top of Morgak's shoulders, get even taller.
Actually, no, I'm gonna,
Cute.
since you are standing on the arm, I'm going to drag you up onto the head as well, so that way you have even higher of a perch.
There you go.
I can do.
It's a little bit of an uneasy movement, but yeah, you get on there fairly well, and you manage to just like grasp onto the front of the face of the statue, just like, okay, is this fine? It's only,
Okay, before
what,
I do
25 feet up?
Can I like?
Fear is a powerful motivator.
Yeah, can I like roll history to know about the guy from the statue?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it is a statue denoting someone who had a terrible, terrible failure.
Bill, I would like to also roll.
Okay, yeah, sure. Roll for history.
I did.
Oh, Morgak was going to roll too to see if he could help you out.
Oh my
look at that. So, Hifsam, you're just like, King Arronax Silverbeard was a cook, a very good cook, and Morgak corrects you. He's like, no, he was their king, but he ruled from 1107 CE to 1159 CE, and he got crushed by an ogre while leading a charge into an orc encampment. He was a very brave man. My grandfather told me of him.
He was
I
fighting
always
him.
made the joke about him getting smashed by the ogre. Oh, good times.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Signature
So
line
I
with
sent-
all ogre.
So I send a large psychic, information, like, for them to pay attention. Do you want to murder your friends and family?
Hey, listen.
Hey, listen.
The settlement needs your help.
You see, I would say about a third of the people just kind of like look around, like, where the hell did that come from? And just start going back to their raiding and pillaging. It's like, that was weird.
Convey
Do you
with the
want-
statue.
To be those that murdered your friends, your family, your children. All of those who died here bravely did not die in vain. Look at me. I am at the statue.
So you
And
see...
I'll raise my hand and shoot an eldritch blast in the air.
Oh, okay.
Roll
Roll-
a d100.
Let's roll for persuasion.
Okay.
I was actually going to say roll for dex as the rocks fall on your head. No.
I was gonna say, you managed to hit a bat out of the air.
Just hear like a faint and then Oh, damn. All right. So a majority of the rioters seem to have been calmed down a little bit, and they're just like, okay, maybe we should just hear what this guy has to say, and then if we don't like it, we can always string him up on that statue that he's hanging off of, so that's cool. But you don't know that because you're not completely psychic. Large gathering of refugees and dwarven citizens have gathered around the front of the statue.
Okay, while they are coming, I would, at the same time yell and send a psychic blasting, for those who are not trying to focus, to make them focus a bit more. So, okay, I had only outline.
So you're
About
saying
a half an hour ago, many of those who were your friends from childhood or whatever, they came to this city to defend you people. They died bravely. All of them died. You can see for themselves.
They all died.
They are piled in the graves that we cannot afford time to bury them properly as they deserve it. We have to do so only to defend you. You are those who are responsible for their deaths. And if you continue doing what you are doing, you will become what your friends sought to destroy. You will become the slave of the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
So look at this
You were
statue that
supposed
I'm
to
standing on. This statue is of a brave king. What's the name of the king? Never mind. The statue of the king. Oh yeah, what's the name of the king? Of the king who died while charging heroic. Who charged at the
Morgak was
ogres.
like halfway through saying the name.
Yep.
He died while defending all the people he loved. Same as your friends and family did. And you dare now destroy everything that we try to defend. You dare loot people who provided you with food, even though they could easily escape this place. You all are doing this only because you think you will be safe. No, there is no going back. Either we find some magical way of getting out, which I really doubt, or you're all going to take the place of your friends and family who died here. Remember, we're not here only for ourselves. We're here for your family, for this country, for Middle-ish Earth. We must not falter.
All right.
Rally now and take your weapons. The fight is not yet over.
Damn, I'm not gonna make you
That's
roll
all.
for that, dude. I'm giving you inspiration. I'm gonna tell you. Get yourself
Okay,
one of
thanks.
those. Yeah. So I'm not gonna even make you roll. I'll just say that the citizens are all very ashamed of what they've been doing the last few hours, just raiding and pillaging. So a lot of them just kind of like drop some of the things that they were like stealing. So jewelry and armor and various other trinkets and stuff, and they just kind of like look around and start helping each other up, those that have been getting trampled, and attempting to like rebuild or at least fix some of the things that they've been doing. The raiding of the tavern has stopped as well. The owner looks beaten a little, but not killed or horribly injured. Several citizens have helped him up and started trying to fix his door that they broke in and putting a lot of the stuff back. So you seem to have calmed them down for now. At the moment, it looks like things will be safer, and the citizens are going to start taking up arms and getting ready to defend their city one last time.
Yeah, I whispered to Morgak, damn, I should run for the Emperor of the Elves.
I'm surprised. I thought they were going to string you up on the statue.
Yeah, thanks for that.
All right, so now
I didn't
that
say I was going to let them.
Okay, I'm gonna slowly climb down and try not to attract attention of too many people, and go search for Oust and the others if they
I can
found
fly
anything
you
over
down,
the-
you know.
yeah,
It's cool.
Morgak
It's good
takes
to
you
have
from the
some-
scruff of your neck and just go like, here you go, just like a
Thanks.
No,
It's like a kitten.
He's being so wanting to be self-sufficient. I want an acrobatics check to see if he just.
Yeah, Morgak's just slowly floating down, just watching this as he goes.
All right, do an acrobatics check. Let's see how this goes.
Slip into the river.
Let's see.
Do it.
Do a barrel roll.
That river's
But I'll do better
awfully
while we
far
go.
away. However, if he falls, okay, it's not as
fine.
graceful as you would have liked it to look. But a lot of the people have their backs turned, so your foot slips a little. But you're like, huh! And you catch yourself with your hand. But then you're just like, okay, good, no one saw that, and you get down safely.
I saw that.
You're not anybody. You're a Morgat.
Them's
I
fighting
don't know if
words.
I should be insulted by that, but you're right.
I am Morgak.
Never said an
This is
insult.
correct.
You can do with that whatever you wish. If you see it as an insult, well, that's on you.
All right, so you guys are going to go off and
Squints
try and.
eyes.
I'm assuming Sir
It
Oust
wasn't.
and Awen were together and not regular Oust.
That'd
Oh.
be correct.
Okay, cool. So I'm just
Benefit
gonna.
of doubt, assume regular oust goes to the shrine.
Yes, I was actually about to touch on that before we move further. So, you and your father store head over to the Felvin Shrine, and it is still empty. Like, you're not entirely sure what happened to that tiefling, the blind tiefling that was there, but he's just disappeared. You haven't seen him in the city, you haven't seen him in the town, you haven't seen him anywhere. It's really bizarre. But when you enter into the shrine itself, that orb that was sitting at the front of the shrine, it's still glowing. It's still very, very bright. I'll get rid of that because we don't need it. Very, very bright and glowing, and it is now on fire. Like, you can see flames coming off of it right now. Your father takes you to the top of the shrine, and he tells you to take the orb off of the pedestal.
What will happen when I do?
Nothing bad will happen. Just do it.
Do it!
He does so
Okay. When you
hesitantly.
reach out and touch the orb, the flames immediately snuff out. The orb still continues to glow, but it is ice cold to your touch. It's like holding an ice cube in your hand. Your father Your father explains that the power of Felvin courses through this orb, and it courses through you as well. This orb contains great power. So powerful, in fact, that it can destroy entire city. It is a, we'll say, contingency plan were the city to fall to anybody. Undead, drow, or even orc. The person in charge of the shrine, their duty was to make sure that the city was evacuated, and in that time, if it were to be overrun by enemies of the dwarves, they would take this orb, absorb it inside of them, and sacrifice themselves to allow them all to escape, the citizens of the city. Now, Store asks you to hand the orb to him.
Reasonable. All right.
So Store takes the orb, and as he does so, you see the visage of a tiefling as he grasps the orb. And he says that he is your father, but he is something greater than that. Something that you may not understand, but in time, hopefully you will. He takes the orb and he absorbs it into himself. You see him put it into his chest. The glow of the orb spreads out throughout his entire body, and he is now glowing a very orangey yellow aura around him. And the visage of that tiefling that you saw dissipates completely.
Okay. Keep going.
Your father puts his hand on your shoulder and he says, you need to go with your friends. You need to figure out how to make that machine work that they found. And in the meantime, he will make sure that everyone in this city survives until you are able to get this portal open.
Okay.
And he gives you a very tight and more long hug than you would think he normally would be comfortable with, because he has very rarely ever showed any emotion outside of this to you in any sort of loving and fatherly way. And when he pulls away, you kind of see his eyes have misted a little, but he doesn't cry, he doesn't choke back any tears, he just smiles, and then he asks you if just to head out of the shrine with him.
Yeah, no, Ast is more or less kind of numb with this, so you'll follow.
Okay. So when you leave the shrine, your father turns to you again and says, go find your friends. I'm going to organize the remaining of our forces to defend the city against the undead when they get through.
Okay.
Okay. And he walks towards the wall, and he just kind of turns, gives you a quick wave, and smiles, and turns and walks off.
Well, this is a right in mess.
Hey, Oust. I hope you found some magical thing to help us, because hell, we're in trouble.
My father is on that case at the moment.
Okay. At least we have something. Alright, so I think I managed to calm down the, angry people here. We need to see what your alternative version and Darwin are doing. Well, other than the expected thing, but I think they're here just for the job.
It's not expected. Is there any luck with Morgak finding Karen?
Oh, right. Forgot to ask.
Morgak, you there?
He's away. He said he's away.
Oh, he's away? Okay, that's fine. So we'll say that no, Morgak didn't find anybody or anything. Parents just poof, gone.
Either a coward or he's dead or something else entirely fantastic. Regardless, we...
Mm-hmm. Well, either way, we can go to Awen and Sir Oust. You guys have been guided down to the laboratory, as they call it. It is actually kind of surprising, considering how large the place is. It was buried behind a stone, just a bunch of stone debris and boulders. When that explosion happened, that ended up crushing half of the undead army, it seemed to have shaken loose that stone covering to reveal a very large and open area. In the main entrance, there is a sarcophagus with various old and ancient dwarven weapons and armor just kind of strewn about. It looks like there to be several dwarvish skeletons as well, in addition to this. Down a very long stone bridge, at the very end, is a metallic circle, about, I would say, 40 feet in diameter, and it looks to be made of iron and steel, and even some parts of it gold. A lot of the gold just looks like threads, kind of like coming out the bottom of the machine, attaching to what look to be metal boxes off to the side. On the right side, there looks to be a metal platform. And from that metal platform, you also see more sort of like lines of cord of gold, just kind of like interwoven through that. And it leads back to the main machine, the big metal circle. In front of the circle looks to be some metal steps made of iron. About several steps, about 5 or 6, that lead up to the circle itself. And in front of the circle, off to the left-hand side, looks to be some sort of metallic platform. On the platform are stone symbols in a circle. And in the middle of that circle looks to be a red stone orb that has been sort of, I don't know how you would say it, it's been shaven down. So you know, like diamonds, when you find them in like a mine, they don't look identical to the ones you see in a store. They're polished, they're shined, they are cut. This looks like this red stone was cut into the shape of a very large ruby that was then placed inside the center of this console that's surrounded by the stone runes. It does not look activated, and it looks very ancient and old. It's covered in cobwebs. Several areas and parts of the platform look to be rusted from oxidization, but it looks like it could still function. It's just not on.
Any other details that kind of jump out?
Aside from that, you kind of look around the platform. You kind of go behind the machine as well. And you see in the rear of the machine, looks to be like 2 openings on either side to where something can be placed. You open up one of these openings, so like it's kind of like a metal door. You just kind of like unlatch it and it creaks open, and you see a yellow crystal on, let me just see here, I have it set up. So on the right hand side there is a blue crystal stored in the rear of the machine, and on the left hand side you see a yellow crystal stored in the machine. And these crystals also look to be refined and cut specifically to fit inside of this. They're in the shape of diamonds. And it looks like they're just kind of like turned and shoved into the apparatus that holds it in place. It's kind of like a metal cage almost around these crystals. And both of them are set up that way, kind of like shaped like a diamond shape. And they're both like in those cages, latched into the machine.
Right.
You take a closer look at the platform, and the ruby-shaped crystal looks to be badly damaged. It is cracked in half. It's not broken in half, but it is like hairline fracture. And yeah. So basically, it's fried, essentially. And the small platform that's on the left-hand side of the circular object itself looks to be empty. But there is a place to insert something diamond-shaped as well, to fit into that cage. But this is considerably larger than the other 2 cages that you see in the rear of the machine. So whatever needs to be placed here needs to be probably 2 to 3 times larger than the crystals in the machine that are already placed. It's like it was made specifically for this object. Now,
Okay.
The wizard that followed you down, the rune wizard, he hands you the book that they found. And he says he found the book amidst the rubble. as they were fighting. Once the battle ceased, he found this book just lying on the ground behind the wall, covered in dirt and rocks, but still intact. He hands you the book, and he also hands you a piece of parchment paper in addition to this book, saying, "We believe that this is the cipher that you need to decode what this book is and how to work the machine." So the cipher is
Hey,
up
I
at the
can
top.
read anything.
The cipher
Well,
is
it's a
up at the
code,
top,
so-
and it's a code, so you cannot read it. Their comprehend languages would not work in this case. You need to decode this book, and you need to figure out the instructions on it and see how it works exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so naked people, a tree with Roman numbers, and some colored gems. Beautiful.
So this is basically, these diagrams are basically what the machine looks like. So the first diagram here is the front of the machine, and the rear is the second.
All right.
And on the
Yes,
right-hand
yeah,
side is a sketch of what looks to be two naked figures holding up the ring themselves. And inside that sketch, you notice that there looks to be some sort of portal into another world. And then it continues on and on and on, sort of like an infinite circle. I will say it is easy to figure out, and once you figure it out, it's going to come to you like that. But yeah.
Power place Harry. Power place here. Okay. So figure 1. Okay, so power place here. The purple is on the left. POWER. Power.
Yeah. Power place here, yes.
Yeah. You already read
Power-
capital letters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dimension.
Dimension place
Dimension.
here. Power dimension place here. So,
Yeah.
so I'm guessing yellow has something to do with dimensional transportation? Something.
Yeah.
Purple is clearly
So-
time. No,
Yeah.
blue would be the dimensional one.
dimension,
So
yeah.
yellow is power.
Uva. Mother of us all.
Well, they said the D&D wasn't satanic, and here we are just depicting runes and whatnot.
Mother of gods.
Portal creator?
Creator, yeah. So we need to pray to the big dead god.
So, more or less, this is beseeching over to create a portal into a new world for us to escape into, from what I'm getting.
Definitely. Now we need to figure out how this thing works.
Yeah.
So we place the purple one on this side thing.
Yes, the side thing with the wire. And I don't see
Yeah,
red
yellow.
mentioned literally anywhere. Which is intriguing. Yellow goes here, blue goes here.
Yeah. Okay, and we need that big one thing. The device thing, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Alright, Mr. Engineer. Have any idea what fits here?
So,
Oh, it
figure
rhymes.
1, figure 2. Yeah. Well, we'll explain our findings.
Okay.
Hold on, if Ova is the mother of gods, then Chronox is... Oh god. Mother f...
Well, yes, he probably does.
Let's hope that's not literal, please.
Okay.
That would be a
Cronox,
situation and
I will say Cronox did not sex his own mother.
small mercies. small mercies.
Well, you also gotta.
Yeah.
In the end, it doesn't really matter when it comes to deities.
I'm not going full Greek when it comes to my mythology. That's just
Yeah, I
beside.
thought
We're
of that
avoiding that
first.
thing. Yeah. Okay. So
Okay, so we need something that looks like boiler if the image fits. This thing.
How dare you? You
I'm
vile
sorry.
fiend.
you fiend.
I didn't mean to.
Mm-hmm. All right. So you explain your
That's what
findings
I'll
to
say.
the wizard, then.
Yes.
Okay. So he looks at the book, looks at the cipher that you guys found, and he says, well, everything's accounted for. You have the purple crystal. We already have yellow and blue in place, as seen here. But what of the red crystal? What can we use in place of that?
Did we get a red
it's-
crystal?
No.
Can we use the battery from the mech?
Or, well, we could use that. We could. Have your people go harvest the red crystals from corpses of the larger undead.
All right.
Look similar, if not the same, to this.
So the wizard will go off, and he'll start instructing the people who are clearing the place not to burn all the corpses yet, as to the fact that they will need to find some red crystals that they might be able to use. So he's going to go off and do that.
You mentioned those ancient dwarven weapons. By chance, are any of those magical?
So the dwarven weapons that are strewn about the area?
Yeah.
You can roll for Arcana to see if they are.
Mm. Well. Let's do that. Oh, sorry, I had to refresh the page, so I need to reopen that. Character sheet. Scroll. Arcana.
So
17.
you look over some of the bardashes and pikes, and you notice that carved into the metal are runes. Those runes seem to be magical in nature, but what magic may have been imbued in these weapons at the time is now dissipated.
Unfortunate. How's that sarcophagus looking?
Your sarcophagus is sealed. It's just askew. So it's kind of like off to a slant, essentially. But it looks like someone had shoved it a little, maybe knocked into it. But aside from that, it's completely sealed. It's a very large metal, so iron, sarcophagus. Not something that would be easy for you to lift. Morgak would even have trouble lifting this.
Yes. Well, I mean, do we even want to open it, given that there are dwarves standing right over here? Probably not.
They probably wouldn't take kindly for you to desecrate a sarcophagus of a well-known dwarven mage. I don't think it would go over too well.
Probably not.
Probably. I mean, in worst case scenario, we can glue it back, but unless we find other
Glue it
clues
back.
or Yeah.
Okay.
What
we
you
can
bury
seal
them
it
with
back.
anything valuable?
Um,
Mages, don't they usually bury them with just fancy robes?
I mean, if any of you were well versed in dwarven history, you might be able to tell that. But
Morgak.
Let me give it a shot.
Morgak,
Historic.
prove the worth you have shown before.
You see, he had.
Uh,
I don't know. Did it roll?
I'm not seeing
no,
it.
I didn't see it. Try it again.
Oh no.
Neither.
Am I on
Oh,
Oh, wait, there it is.
oh.
A 10.
There you go. Okay, take that 10. I don't know. My internet glitched out for a second there.
Yeah, it's okay. So, Morgak, you believe that mages are buried with all of their possessions, including a lot of gold, like gold sort of laced clothing and robes. Hivsam, you
However, I studied very rituals of the dwarves.
apparently very specific. You would be able to tell from the state of this tomb and where it's located that this dwarvish mage in particular wasn't exactly well liked, because had he been someone of reputable status, he would have been buried in a large sarcophagus area where they bury all of their mages, the dwarven mages. This guy was buried deep underneath the city, away from everybody else, for some reason. He seems to be coming off as a bit of
Hold up
a
on what I just
pariah.
said. He's buried away from everyone else. He must have something bad on him.
That is correct. Okay, so I'm gonna start the small talk with the either the lieutenant or the royal mage guy. So
So the royal
this,
mage guy is gone, but the lieutenant is there with two other dwarven warriors, so you can speak to
So
him.
this
And
is
what
quite a
about
nice-
Queen Doval?
Queen Duval, you don't know where she is at the moment.
Oh, lovely.
So it seems that you really like this person, since you buried him separated from the rest. He must have some really, really good privileges, but he was alive.
He was insane. We buried him away from everybody else to make sure that whatever was it that he had wasn't caught by anybody else. The man had some very unusual, we'll say, ideas when it comes to the afterlife and time itself.
Oh, I see.
He tinkered away in this laboratory, and we decided that if he was going to live in it, he might as well just die in it at that point. So we kept him here. Not so much as a prisoner, but just someone who needed to be kept away from the general public.
But then who buried him?
The mages of his guild buried him out of some nominal respect towards his contributions. He wasn't completely useless, but the way he went about his business and how he tried to nearly destroy the entire city with his experiment was somewhat frowned upon. We kept him busy down here with his trinkets and his books and his studies, but he slowly went insane and just died from old age.
So, if you buried him here from, since you probably were worried about something that may happen, did you bury him with any of his, possessions that might deem dangerous, or, any amulets, well, anything unusual for a person to be buried with?
Anything that would have been of use was
Unusual.
donated to the order of the Rudenheim.
Oh, okay. So, okay. And nothing else apart the usual stuff, right?
Not that we're aware of, no.
Well, then I highly doubt we can find anything here. I send that telepathically.
Okay.
Morgak, who has been looking at weapons to see what would make for a good crowbar, just hears that and just drops one instantly. Oh, come on.
My friend is frustrated because we can't really find what fits in the machine. So he is trying with that crowbar big thing. Definitely not trying to desecrate any graves, I tell you.
I would
I'm gonna
certainly
roll
hope
Arcana to see if
not.
I sense any magic on these weapons.
Do it.
Give it a shot. Why not?
Arcana.
Now, you basically get the same deal that Aus got. It's like whatever magic was in these weapons is now gone. Majority
But
of them
what would
are
it take
broken.
to restore that magic.
You can't
Morgak
restore what
pulls
is
out
gone.
his axe and just like kind of dinks them against the runes to try to reactivate them.
It doesn't do anything. Your axe just kind of like moves its tendrils a little bit, and then every time you like hit it against one of the weapons, it goes like. Eek!
By the way, what was his axe doing when he was in the room with all the crystals?
You don't know.
curious.
Only Morgak knows what his axe was doing. Unless Morgak wants to
Kind of
divulge that
visible
information.
in the area.
Yeah, sure. He would probably be like every once in a while just narrate like Nur or not Nur. Nor, stop that. No. No. Bad.
Click.
We need those.
Yeah.
Afterwards, yes. I said that out loud, didn't I?
Yeah.
Dork, you're talking with inanimate objects, Morgak. I'm not judging you, I'm just saying it looks weird.
I talked to you.
That is correct.
Ooh.
Sometimes
And sometimes
Of
more
course.
moves, as evidenced by the scars on your face.
Oh man.
What are we getting at?
we did not talk about that one.
Reasonable.
Alright, so where do we find the thing?
All right. So you guys are looking specifically for the red crystals, and it just so happens that a couple of dwarvish warriors come down with several fragments of red crystal that they just bring in a burlap sack, and they just lie it gently onto the ground, and they say, well, take your pick. There's plenty to go around.
Time to sift through them, I suppose.
Yep. Morgak, where are you right now? Are you close to
Chris, I'm very
the
good with
sarcophagus? Or just tinkering around with the weapons below, like here? Sorry, were you tinkering around with the weapons still, or were you up at the sarcophagus area?
Is Morgak alive?
I don't know.
Eh?
Oh, I was asking where your character is right now. Is he just down below tinkering with weapons still, or is he up where the sarcophagus is?
I probably would have just been with the weapons still until the gems came along, then go over towards the gems.
Okay. When you go towards the gems, I want you to make a strength save, please.
Oh god, Noir's about to leap out of your hands.
Give me that!
Did you? Okay, there we go.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Luckily, he is an orc.
Mind you're close to
I
house.
thought I'd
so
give it
that
a
is
shot.
another +5, getting you a solid 32.
Solid.
So, as you approach the burlap sack, Noir goes nuts. He flies out of your hand, but you grip it just by the tip and just yank it back. His tendrils are reaching, stretching as far as they can towards that burlap sack right now. It's like...
Nope, bad. In the bag of holding.
So what do you do, Morgak? You just holding on to him right now?
You know what? I have to take him downstairs so he doesn't do anything reckless. I'll be back. However, when you're done.
Yeah.
He's kind of just dragging his axe downstairs.
Yeah, basically what it's doing is like literally the axe is like on the ground and you have to like pull it down the stairs. It goes ka-tink, 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 down the stairs it goes. It's really pulling hard to go towards that sack.
Just leaving marks in the frickin'
Yeah,
granite
pretty
on the
much
floor.
just dragging a long drag mark cut into the stone ground as you're pulling it away.
Something tells me the axe is not inanimate object.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Garbled hisses and clicking.
Nope.
Pretty much.
Oh god.
Okay. So as Morgak keeps Noir away from the burlap sack, what do you two want to do? Or I should say 3.
Again, just sorting through jams.
Okay. So who's sorting through it first? Are you all just kind of like looking through it all together, just like this one, nah, too small. This one, too big, kind of thing.
Probably.
Okay.
I'm gonna use guidance.
So what I want Sir Oust and Hifsam to do is make a wisdom save, please.
I mean, all right.
It'll be fine.
Have a +5 bonus.
Yep.
17. 21.
The +5 already
Plus
applies
5
for
already
me.
applies. Okay. So Hifsam, you don't get knocked back, but as you reach to touch out one of the larger crystals, you get a big flash in your mind of several dozen voices screaming out all at once, saying, "Help us!" It's just like a big
God,
red
they're
flash, and you see
schizophrenic.
like dozens of faces just like open up. They have no eyes and no mouth, and their mouths are just open black maws.
Nope.
Nope. Might have to reconnect. Might be having technical issues. But yeah, so it doesn't hurt you physically or mentally. It's just a big red flash in your
Alright.
in your head.
Excuse me.
Oh yes.
So does
Yeah.
what exactly
Okay,
happens
so-
to Oust in comparison? Does he just get the image but not get knocked back?
So Oust, you don't feel anything.
Alright.
Nothing happens
This
to you.
is the part where I do depart.
Okay.
Okay.
I look
Okay.
at Oust and ask. Oh, see him.
Ta-ta.
So I look at Oust and ask, "Am I turning schizophrenic?"
I mean, given that you are sometimes possessed by your alternate, I guess I could say maybe.
That was not him. I saw some people scream at me while I was reaching for the crystal. Like, "Help us!" With that thousands of echoes behind it.
Glance down, narrow my eyes at the thing. Is this an arcana, I suppose?
Yeah. You look into one of the crystals, Oust, and you see blackish red swirling in the center of one of the larger ones. And when you bring your face closer, you immediately see the image of somebody's face just pop up and then dissipate instantly. And then you look again, keeping your distance, but still looking, and you see another face, this one different, pop up and then disappear again. And it swirls around like that in a big black swirl inside the crystal, just face after face after face. And you eventually see your mother's face pop up, disappear.
No, not my mother.
Well, not your mother, but Oust's mother.
He's not going to mention that.
Yeah.
Priorities.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm gonna just slightly scowl before sighing. Call
Found
it
anything?
the crystallization of souls, as it were.
Oh, it makes sense. Hello, people. How are you doing? It's creamy today, aren't you? I'm
Hello!
joking, of course. We're just gonna use your power, and hopefully it will.
We're gonna use
return you
your
back to the
power,
afterlife.
and it's like immediately increased terror. Oh my god, they're gonna burn our souls out to power a machine.
I mean, sorry,
Oh, well.
but not sorry.
I know, it's
They
what has to
are
happen.
already dead, so
Yeah, but still, at least they can have a restful afterlife.
it's a moral
Now
gray
they're screaming at
area.
us.
It's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's what I have to do. Shrug.
So can we transmute
good.
one's parents with those stones?
Do we find one that would work?
I'll say that you managed to find a crystal that looks large enough. However, it does need to be form-fitted. So you would need to find a jeweler that is brave enough to fuck with a soul stone to make it fit inside that pedestal.
Well, that's fine. We just get all the paladins together. He gets that boost. Or, I could just cast a spell on him that makes him immune to fear. Either way, total win.
Correct.
Gotta find a jeweler, but this one should work fine.
Mm-hmm.
On our way, then?
Yep.
On our way.
On our way.
Okay, on your way. So, you go back to the city, and you look for that jeweler/apothecary shop that you guys visited.
I am snagging the extra crystals, though.
Okay. So you take the whole sack then with you. So
I'm leaving the main one down there because, it's the one that's needed. Better to keep it in that place.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you leave the main one down there. That's the one you're going to end up using, correct?
Yeah, I'm not about to have a jeweler work on a soul stone in the middle of the town. Are you kidding?
Fair enough.
So many ways for that to go south.
All right. So you make your way to the jeweler's shop. That's number 13 up in the top corner there. When you enter into the shop, you notice that the door is
Canadian
slightly
guy.
ajar. Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right, technical difficulties. Discord. Boom.
Oh, hi.
Are we back? We are back.
Alright.
Okay.
If
Yay.
the stream is working.
That was annoying. Yes, the stream is back live. It's been live for about 45 seconds, so we're back.
No,
out
I meant
there.
more the mics. Sometimes it cuts out if you...
Oh, that I'm not sure of. Hold on. Say something?
Something.
Okay, yeah, you're still coming in
we-
clear.
Okay, good.
I was gonna start doing the
Yeah, we're good. All right, so
speech leads to what.
let's get back on track here. I was wondering why you were talking over me because I was like trying to explain what the heck's going on. Then I got, oh, my connection was crappy. Okay, so you guys head over to the jeweler apothecary. When you go up to the door, it looks like the door is slightly ajar, like it was busted inward. You go inside the store, and it is completely ransacked. Aside from a handful of broken potions on the floorboards, the shelves are completely barren, and any glass displays that contained jewelry or trinkets are smashed inward, and everything is missing from those displays. There is no real sign
there's
of the
nothing.
shopkeeper at this moment. So what do you do?
Well, gotta go find him.
Are there any remaining potions that aren't broken?
Unfortunately not. Everything has been taken.
Morgak is absolutely livid.
Can I give
Does
you...
the smell of maple syrup fill the air?
There is a slight tinge of maple syrup, yes. Can I get you guys to roll for perception, please?
Very well. I rolled a 4.
Excellent. Exactly what we need.
He rolled a 20.
Morgak is just staring at the broken
It's done.
potions.
Morgak's just like on his
guess
hands and
I'm-
knees. He's like scooping up the maple syrup, screaming to the heavens, "No!" Hivsam, you notice in the rear of the shop there is looks to be a storage area, a small storage area. You head towards there, and you do notice movement in the darkness of that storage area.
Hello, we're friendly.
Also, how's Nur doing?
We'll say Nur's been in Morgak's backpack pretty much the whole time, asleep.
Just over his shoulder?
Just kind
Whispering
of
dark secrets into Morgak's ear?
No.
Oh, Morgak. Not now.
No, he's got
Murder them.
Noir is in a timeout right now.
Just put Nora in the bag of holding.
Yeah. Nur, on the other hand, is in Morgak's backpack, kind of just like sleeping soundly. He's having a good old baby sheep nap.
Yep.
Baby
So,
sheep.
Hivsam, you notice that there it looks to be someone on the ground, actually, in the rear of the shop. Just kind of like moving, slightly groaning.
Guess you need help. And I go inside.
Inside, you find a beaten but alive shopkeeper.
Oh, shopkeeper, I guess you need some help, am I right? I guess he does. Medics! Oh shit, we don't have any.
I
Who's good
mean,
at medicine?
I have a +7. Should anyone wish to help
Of
me?
what?
Medicine.
Well,
Oh,
plus
yeah,
7
sure,
would
I mean,
do.
what-
What do
yeah,
you do?
yeah.
Paladin.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, give me a hand, and Rivsam, you give me some guidance. Yeah.
Where's your
Now we're
store?
talking. So with help, that'll give me advantage.
Yes.
15, that's rather...
It's more of
Okay.
a detriment than a help.
So Hivsam is like,
17.
no. The shoulder blade goes in that side of the arm. No, the other way around. No, okay, now you got... Okay, perfect. Awesome.
What did this man do to himself?
Just actually dislocates and relocates his arm. Ah, right, there we go.
Just, it's like, you know how you get like a vision test when they're just like better or worse. That's basically what he's doing with his arms. Like, better or worse?
Ah!
Oh, you have medical insurance, right?
He's a Canadian dwarf, so yes, he does.
Ah.
It's free for him.
It's universal.
God love universal healthcare. It's godsend. So yeah, after you manage to reset his shoulder
Europe.
blades, he basically sits up and says, "Oh yeah, those fellas just broke into my store and just kind of like ransacked the whole place. I couldn't even stop them. They wouldn't stop smashing all my syrup, and that takes a long time to suck out of a tree yourself, you know."
Who
I tell
did it?
ya.
I'll murder them.
It's a complete nightmare, but it's so nice to have some fellas around here to help me out and heal me up good. He just kind of like rotates his shoulder. You can hear a very large,
Dislocates again.
but in the long run, he seems to be fairly well covered. He's got a black eye and a busted lip, but aside from that, he's a hearty dwarf. He's doing pretty good. So yeah, he managed to help him to his feet and fix him up enough.
Good. I guess your arms are working right as they should, right?
Well, I mean, it's a little stiff, but I can totally still work my magic if I need to. What can I do you for?
Well, we need some things for you to do to help us and the rest of the city. Though it's a bit, how should I put it? Let's see,
Don't
difficult.
worry about the details. We need you to carve a stone.
Oh, well, I'm really good at that. I'm an excellent jeweler myself. One of the best in the city, actually. Technically the only one left, since the other one got crushed by a rock.
Now, only warning I'm going to give you with this is that the object you're going to be shaping is, let's say, enchanted to give you feelings of terror. Put it lightly. So I'm going to be casting a spell on you to make you immune to such an effect. Just don't be surprised when I do that.
Oh, well, that's no problem. Do you have it with you now?
No, we didn't think it'd be best to bring that into the city proper. You know, for rather clear reasons.
That's perfectly fair. How large is the stone you need carved up, eh?
Yay. Tall, this wide.
Oh boy, I'm gonna need my big chisels for that one. Just give me a few moments. I'll gather my tools and I'll come down with you, and we'll get that baby carved up right good for you.
Okay, I'm gonna check on the walls to see if there is any sight of enemy.
Okay.
All right. Also,
and
Morgak, as Sir As takes out the sack of souls. Maybe this will settle your axe a little.
I
Okay.
guess we can give it a shot. We doing this right now or waiting?
May as well just toss it one to see how it reacts. Maybe
Alright,
it'll
hand
be
me
a
gem,
bag of
stay
treats.
like 30 feet away, and I'll pull out Nor and see what happens.
Okay. So you pull out Nor, and you place one of the gems about, you said 30 feet away?
No, I'm asking them to stay 30 feet away in case
Oh,
Nor goes for the
okay.
bag.
Gotcha. Okay.
Pulls out Nor, holds out a gem, just clink.
Oh, you just clink it to the axe?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you do so, you hear sort of like a vacuumous sound coming from the crystal going into the axe, and as that vacuumous sound starts, you hear sort of like reverse screams coming from the crystal going into the axe. It goes like, yeah, kind of deal, but it's like cacophonous and loud, and you have to cover your ears kind of deal, because there are several thousand souls it seems to be sucking into itself from that gem. When it does so, the axe itself, the blade, grows in length and glows a bright red crystalline color. The crystal has now turned to ash in your hand. It goes poof, dust.
Drop the dust and kind of like brush off this tan, look at the axe like, that's nice.
Happy axe noises.
Happy axe noises,
do-
yeah. It
Alright.
moves its tendrils, so it's like it just had like the tastiest dessert. I am really
Alright.
surprised you've held on to this axe so long. It is clearly fucking evil.
Morgak doesn't care. He
evil
was
is
originally
subjective.
evil himself.
Evil is subjective.
Not so much for the villages he burned.
Not so much, no.
Exactly.
He's redeemed himself, though, in the eyes of
Yeah.
whatever god is still remaining in this world at this point.
God will have him because he never really prays at all, so he's not really looking forward to that afternoon conversation.
I will say, if you ever die, freaking, oh my god.
So I'm sorry, but you didn't get any soul insurance backers, so you're going straight to Asphodel.
I was gonna say
Straight to Nine Hills.
you probably pissed off the one god that you do not want to piss off if you ever were to die. So
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, knows. It was fair and it was
I
worth it.
sit onto the throne of the god of death and glare at him. He glares back.
if he had eyes, he would have. Yeah. Always a wise choice to do. Okay.
Well, I guess you'll get a divine pardon for your actions.
Maybe, if you're lucky.
Perhaps. Probably not.
Well, I know the paladin Morgak is besties with the god of light and song, so hey, he might be able to
True.
put in a good word for you. You never know.
Who knows?
We'll see. All right.
One
So
way to find out.
yeah, just don't try and die too soon.
That was my entire plan.
Yeah, I know. All right, so what do you guys want to do next? He's going to be gathering up his tools. He's going to head down into the tomb, start carving away. We're going to say he's working on that right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I went for the walls.
And you're going for the walls. Okay. Are the rest of you just going to
That's good.
follow Hif?
I mean, I'm gonna go search out Queen Duval to figure out how things are going on the drow side of things.
Fair enough. And what are you up to, Morgak?
Just quality
Yes.
time with Axe.
Yeah.
Probably just gonna go to the walls. Get ready to test out new axe.
Okay. All right. So first thing we'll do is we'll do Hif, Sam, and Morgak, and then I'll do Oust next. So Hif, Sam, and Morgak, you guys head to the walls, seeing how the progress is. It looks like they're doing
Noir is evolving. God.
It looks like the walls repair is coming along as well as it can be with the amount of stuff that they're able to work out. The Masonheim, a group of Masonheim dwarves are working tirelessly to shape the rock as best they can and set it in place. Store and Oust are making it so that the rock is heated and sealed. So they're doing that. And I will say that the Paladin Morgak has basically finished filling the trenches with the undead corpses. They are burning the bodies as we speak. And Morgak and a small contingent of drow are at the very edge of the collapsed boulders and rocks and such. And it looks to be like they are chopping off undead or cutting them down as they're squeezing their way through some holes and cracks in the wall itself. So you can see like Morgak smashing a couple of undead in the face as they poke their head out through the wall. And then the drow are using their scimitars to just kind of cut down the undead as they're trying to squeeze their way through all the cracks and rubble.
Lovely.
It's becoming increasingly difficult for them to keep them at bay because there are several dozens that are popping up at a time, and then dozens turn into dozen, and then continues on until there will be eventually hundreds of undead trying to squeeze their way through.
How long do you think it'll take that stone cutter?
You're not entirely sure. He did give you about an estimate. At his best work, he might be able to carve this down into the shape you need in an hour. Maybe. If he had some help, he'd probably be able to cut that down to like 45 minutes.
And we can send down there to help him out.
You could check around the city itself and see. You could. There's one place you guys haven't checked is the triage center that's in the refugee area.
We're gonna go bring up that idea to her, Sam.
Okay.
So what do you think? Want somebody to get the stone cutter to go faster?
Maybe we should.
They seem to have things covered here for maybe, I take it, a half an hour.
Mm-hmm. Roughly that.
All right, let's go. We gotta be fast.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys head over to the triage center, and Oust, you said you're going to be looking for Nazana Duval. We're going to say that you end up finding her at the tavern of all places. She is sitting on a stool. The entire bar is just completely destroyed. Chairs and tables busted. A lot of food and just like refuse and garbage is strewn about the ground, and a lot of beer spilt. The entire tavern smells like of stale food and just beer and mead just all over the place. She is by herself. No one is with her. It looks like the barkeep is the only other person in the bar with her at the time. He's just kind of like sweeping things up with his barmaid, trying to clean up the shop. or the store. She's sitting at a stool, and she just looks to be slowly sipping a dark red liquid, most likely wine, just kind of staring off into nothing.
He's not going to walk up quietly, so just to be sure that she wouldn't notice him walking up
Okay.
instead of just someone creeping up behind her, because good gods do that to a drow. Are you an idiot?
Exactly. So she doesn't turn around. She still faces this forward, but she does beckon you with her hand to sit beside her.
He'll do so.
She kind of just turns her eyes to the barkeep and is like, "Barkeep, a glass of mead for my friend, please." And the barkeep just kind of nods and starts cleaning up a glass and filling it up with mead and puts it in front of you. She seems distant. She seems very quiet. She seems almost contemplative of her impending doom. You can kind of tell she's just, at this point, accepted her fate.
How well have they been keeping you updated with what's happening?
My men, what's left of them, have been notifying me of the progress of the wall, as well as the attempts at keeping the undead at bay, but it will be an eventuality before they overrun us. They also mentioned that you may have found a way to save us. Some sort of crypt that they found, a buried laboratory in some ancient artifact that may assist us in escaping, although then perhaps it is not Dagon I should be angry at. Perhaps it is Cronax I should be seeking a pound of flesh from. And she takes a sip of her wine as she says that, with very venomous retort.
The pivotal difference between him and, say, Geth is the choice of intervention in the lives of mortals. It's not something most appreciate, myself included, but in this situation, he does have good intentions, paved to hell though they often are.
He will pay for what he has done to my family and my people. Both of them will. My daughter is still out there somewhere, I know not where, but I know she is alive, and I beseech you to find her and bring her home safely. Please. She is all I have left.
My entire life is more devoted to ending Dagon. That is the path that's always been set in front of me, and one that I would find myself hard-pressed to ever go against. Adding that as an additional objective is not too far for me. Consider it a promise, then.
It would be
I'll do
greatly
everything I can.
appreciated. Because my place right now is with my people, and as sad as it may seem, if I could save my own daughter, I would, but I cannot abandon what is left of my people, and their survival is on my shoulders. I must ensure that happens at any cost, even if I have to abandon the dwarven allies that we have sought refuge with. There are many priorities that we need to keep track of. and be wary of. You have your friends, and I have mine.
My friends don't come first when it comes to priorities. It's what has to be done. How it's always been. And I can respect your resolve in doing that. Truly, I can.
You will find your path. I'm sure of it. And whether or not that ends in glory or defeat, know that you have my thanks. You will be remembered by my people. I will ensure of that.
I'm honestly more concerned the path some other people are taking, but that's neither here nor there.
Very well. I must take my leave now.
Godspeed.
And she finishes her drink in one gulp and heads out the door.
Best of luck, Nizana.
To you as well, Sir Oust.
He's gonna take a bit to drink his mead, set down a few silver at the bar, and then head out to, well, back to the catacomb.
Okay. So, we're going to leave it at that for you. Let's see. Hifsam and Morgak, you guys have made your way to the triage center at the refugee camp. It is, as expected, with every other place, it's been utter chaos. There are several dwarven clerics that are running around with bandages and gauze and attempting to tend to the multitude of wounded from the previous battle. One of the clerics notices you two approach, and he kind of looks like he's got a bit of a troubled look on his face. He kind of like darts his eyes side to side and then immediately shuffles his way over towards you. He's wearing leather armor, but over his leather armor it's sort of like a sort of doctor's garb, covered in blood and just various other things. His leather gloves are also caked in as well, and he just kind of gives a quick bow and he says, "There's something I must discuss with you about your friend Cedric, the gentleman that you brought in with you as you approached. There's something that he can do that none of us can, and we are worried that perhaps," and he kind of just like keeps his head low and his head turned side to side, "we believe he may be the spy you are looking for. We heard rumors that there was a spy in the city that was trying to find a way into the city and attempt to circumvent our defenses. Cedric has the ability to revive the dead. I have seen it myself."
Oh, don't worry about reviving the dead. We tried our best to deal with the spy, and most probably he is not it. But we can see with that reviving the dead. I'm really interested in that. Also, how's the thing going? You know, can you manage the thing?
What thing?
You know, can you manage all the injured, dying or almost dying?
Oh no! From what you can see, like I said, it's complete chaos. They're short on men. It kind of seems like
right now.
the clerics are running ragged.
Okay, so just a heads up, because hopefully we won't have any more troubles in at least half an hour. But yeah, this is still not ending. I hope you remain steadfast. We need to declare to see Cedric.
We will do our best, but yes. And he kind of like puts his hand out and just says he's that way. And you guys kind of shuffle through
Dankeschön.
You shuffle through the area, and you see there are several. There is a large pit off to the right hand side of the triage, where they are dumping bodies, and you also see there's just rows and rows of people just on the ground on sleeping bags or cots, just moaning in pain. Several missing limbs, others gashes on their faces. You can't see there because they're all bandaged up. And you see at the far end Cedric, and he's got his hand on this little girl's head, It looks like she had lost one of her arms, and he's bandaging up as best he can. And his hand is on her head. And you see that the bandages on where the arm was bandaged at the elbow slowly peel away, and eventually a limb appears in its place. Fresh, new, regrown, completely as if there was no injury. As Cedric removes his hand from the girl's head, he stumbles back a bit and just kind of falls back into a chair that he had right beside her cot. And his head is in his hand, and he's just kind of rubbing his temple right now. When you approach him, you notice that he is very tired looking. He's very drained. His eyes are bloodshot, like he's been up all night. His hair is disheveled, and he's covered in also blood on his robes and hands and everything. The girl is asleep, but it looks like she is breathing, and he's just kind of resting right now.
Looks like you're using some unorthodox, fancy magic of the Forgotten Gods, Cedric.
He's kind of taken aback at your presence, and he kind of leaps out of his chair, tries to like straighten out his robe.
No, sit there. It's okay.
Okay.
You're tired.
Yeah. Yes, I know a few things more than some of the clerics here. It's very odd. Like during my time, if you were a cleric from my order, you were able to regrow limbs. You were able to fix people's eyesight. Here it's very rudimentary and just. Matter of fact, I must be honest, it's very savage almost. Using saws to cut off broken limbs, and it's just not what I'm used to. The magic here is weak. It is not as strong as it used to be.
Well, you know what they say, a man with an eyesight in a world of blinds is hailed as a god, so congratulations, Master Cedric. Yeah, we were searching for you. We have some things to, discuss.
Of course. What is it you would like to speak to me about?
Well, we have a situation. Morgak,
we need some cutters, or somebody who can cut stone. We've got somebody down below working on a portal to get out of here. So that's our situation.
Koff mentioned the Ova bit on the translation.
Also, the book said something about Ova. You seem to be associated with Ova, so we figured you might be wanting in on that.
Oh, you found the Book of Time, have you?
The what?
Well,
The Book of Time.
It's loosely translated, but it's interdimensional travel. Are you not familiar with the concept?
Yes, exactly
Very well
that one.
familiar.
Do you
Yeah,
want to roll for?
Shifty eyes
Do you
from
want to roll for
Paladin.
deception?
I
What do
mean,
you
no,
mean?
they know Oust, they know Paladin Morgak. It's all familiar to them, they just don't know the details behind it.
You know what? Fuck it. I'll roll deception, but it should be persuasion. Can I roll persuasion?
I mean,
It's technically true.
technically it is true. Okay, roll for persuasion. See if
Understandable.
Hi.
Hello.
What's going on? And what did Hivsham do?
Nothing.
Next failing
We're-
persuade people.
Nothing
They
as
talk
of
about
yet.
inter-
We were just talking about the fact that Morgak was trying to convince Cedric that he knew about interdimensional travel.
Did you get up?
Perfect.
So Morgak, you basically, of course I know. I've
Oh
met
my
my double. Like he's over there killing all the zombies, and Cedric's like, oh, okay. And then if Sam tries to convince Cedric of this, like, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no, I have my own double too, you know.
It's like
He lives inside my
Like,
neck.
it's me, but actually
Cedric-
not me.
Cedric just gives you like a pitiful look, and he's like, of course you do. Of course. Yes. Of course.
We well, I am the guy who knows the most about the interdimensional travel. Nobody knows interdimensional travel more than I do.
Oh no, he's Donald Trump of interdimensional travel.
Oh, what are you trying to do, Alwyn? You rolled an Arcana check for what?
Mostly to see if Roll20 was still working.
Oh, okay.
I had
Just double checking. Okay. So
See,
yeah.
You see here, I have this curse known as the Fey Curse. Because anytime I'm anywhere near technology, something goes fucking wrong.
Oh, then you might not want to go near the ancient artifact that they found. That would be
No, no,
unwise.
My grandma.
Ignore the entire moral grayness of the situation that you just managed to not be there for.
What did you guys do?
I might have handed
Nothing.
Morgak a stone to feed his axe that was made from souls.
And then his axe ended up basically growing in blade size.
I also handed Morgak a few of those. I think there's a sack of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we saved the
I'll add
Canadian.
that to my
He's
inventory.
gonna at this point be a fucking anime character with his oversized axe.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
think
Morgak takes
Cloud.
this as a compliment.
Think Cloud off of Final Fantasy, but with axe.
Also orc.
Yes.
Body
also orc.
spray. Sorry.
Ha. All right. So Cedric seems to be very intrigued into studying this book that you found, as well as maybe assisting the individual who is carving the stone to make it fit properly and get it activated. So, yep. Cedric will head on down to the tomb. Are you guys going to show him where it is and then leave, or are you going to just chill in the tomb with him?
I'm gonna escort him down there in case there is anything that goes awry.
Okay.
I hope Cedric doesn't have some obscure knowledge on those soul stones and says, "What the fuck are you butchering?" But well, here's hoping.
Oh yeah, Morgak's just walking around biting a freaking power stone. She's like, oh yeah, we're just clonk, clonk, clonk. Yeah, we got this rock.
Are you sure he's an orc or not a goblin? Not a goblin, but
How dare you?
he's not a goblin.
That's
But
like calling someone from New Zealand an Australian. How could you?
That's
It's completely different.
Or like a Canadian
So
American.
Exactly.
Do you know about the South Canada meme?
Not familiar,
probably.
but no. Anyway, so you guys head down to the tomb. Owen, I'm assuming that you've been with the group the whole time. You've just been T-posing through walls. So,
Make a stealth check and an intimidation check. Namely, the intimidation check is the important one.
It comes back on that window.
I'll roll it for Hell's Bells, but I don't think I'm going to get anything.
You say that, but this is an asinine roll.
there you go.
Yeah,
It means nothing in the
Intimidation and what else?
intimidation and stealth. Okay, that's good. And not so good. So you guys start making your way down the tomb, and then around one of the corners, Owen goes like, "Booga booga booga," and you're like, Well, I didn't see you there, but I'm not scared. So
I'm curious.
Hello, Owen.
Jack didn't even hear it. He's looking
Looks
at
around, glancing out of the corner of his eye, murmuring a tiny sarcastic boo. 22.
For some reason, I feel like I should be scared, but I don't see anything. Now,
that's because you're not looking down, Morgak.
Oh, yeah.
there you
Unfortunately, given that he didn't notice you, he proceeds to run into you, and you take 1d3 minus 2 bludgeoning damage.
take -1 damage. You heal.
Yeah.
Forget what is it? Lay on hands.
Lay on feet.
Well, actually, it wouldn't be on lay on hands. For you, it would be lay on hand, because your entire hand would encompass her skull. So you just need the one hand.
Huzzah.
There you go. You just kind of give her like a little a scruffle of hair, just like, oh, you're so cute when you're trying.
Oh. I'm gonna get stabbed.
Yeah.
Hey, it'll
Or
probably...
Zeb.
You're not. It's not going to be with that dagger. I can tell you that much.
No.
Dagger I'm gonna take back.
Oh, the yeet
Forwards
yoink
to the day
dagger.
where somebody just
The yeet
like,
and
throws
yeet.
like 15 daggers, embeds them into Morgak's chest, and he's just like, I'm keeping these, pulls them out, puts them in the bag of holding, just walks away from the fight.
That's why a rogue class will do nothing to you, man, because they'll just like waste all their daggers onto you and then just have nothing else to throw.
It is the ultimate method of defeating your opponent.
Just have them embed the weapons that they have inside your body and then keep them and not give them back. Makes sense.
Ah, fuck!
I can't believe you've done this.
All right, focus. ADHD is kicking in. All right, so
Sorry.
you guys.
Stone carver,
Yes.
go.
So
Some water spilled.
well, don't put it near your computer. God, that's like a
No,
new.
it wasn't on my computer. It was on my lap and on the floor.
Oh, okay. All right. So you guys head down towards the tomb with Cedric in tow, and he meets up with the Canadian jeweler, and they start discussing the book on where to place the jewel and getting it all carved up nice and good. The
I'm
jeweler.
gonna take this time to sharpen my stick.
Okay. That is now practically a toothpick at this point.
Can we call
Yeah.
it a +1 toothpick?
It is an advanced toothpick.
It does
It's-
1d2 minus 1 damage.
I was going to say, Hifsam, eventually I will find a use for what that stick is going to do. I'm going to make it like so epically stupid that you're just not going to see it coming.
You never
Beautiful.
see it coming.
No, bad.
No.
We're gonna be in a situation where it's like, oh god, we're almost gonna die. We need a small piece of wood that can just barely maneuver a little thingamajig to put it right in place.
The key is broken! What do we do? Don't worry, I've got this! It's like a doomsday machine, just like, I've turned it off with my toothpick.
my dear toothpick.
Alright, so
Worst
Sick
part
has
is-
such a character.
the...
The worst part is that I seen an artificer built just to do shit like that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That was Hifsam's whole character arc, is just to have that at the right time at the right place.
the sheer
Yeah.
power
That's the
of
only
that
reason why he's
sharpened
lived this so
stick
far.
aside.
Alright, so
Sorry.
No, I know.
the
It's going. It's the remnant.
very well done. I like it.
Yeah.
+2 toothpick.
Single use.
Single use. Yep.
Wait, all in range. Oh god.
Ah!
All right. So the jeweler walks up to you, Oust, and he was wondering if you knew anyone that could produce some sort of heating element that might be able to form the gem to fit in place of the pedestal.
How hot are you looking? What do you want?
Oh well, see, like maybe 500 Kelvin couldn't hurt.
I can manage.
Oh, well, that'd be just swell. If you could just help me form this, I'll get out my tools and I'll start banging away at you. I'll just tell you where to point your hand and go ahead and heat up that spot and I'll just bang away, okay?
All right then.
Okay. So he gets you to start heating up the diamond, or, well, not the diamond, but the gem itself. And with every chisel and bang, your head just keeps banging along with it. And Hifsam, can I get you to make another wisdom save, please?
Yay.
Remember,
see
you have a
dead people.
+5. Can we say
Yes, he
Peacebringer is down here, or is he still
no,
up there?
Peacebringer is doing his thing right now. He's trying to keep the undead
right.
at bay. All right, so you got
We
plus
got a
5, so you got
22.
22. Okay. So you...
And I like when they start screaming, I say, okay, louder. Now it's good. A bit longer tone. Beautiful. Orchestra.
yeah, I was going to say, now they're keeping in sync. Can I have the tenors
And
come
now
in a
it's a
little bit
choir.
more, please? Yes. Bass a little less, just a tad. Okay, thank you. So literally it's That's
Perfect.
It's
Beautiful.
yeah. So every time it gets chiseled away more and more, you hear those voices in your head saying, "Please stop! It hurts! Help us! Help us!" But it's more faint this time.
Sorry, fellas. It's an unfortunate set of occurrences, but yeah, it happens to all of us.
I don't think it happens to all of us. Getting sucked into a red crystal, being used in a undead abomination, and then being carved into a shape.
Oh wait, what are we doing? Arwen's there. Arwen, we need a wisdom save.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
What?
yeah.
We need a wisdom save.
Anyone in the vicinity needs to do a wisdom save. The only reason I don't have Morgak and Oust do it is because they're immune, pretty much.
More or less.
Yeah.
What's the boost with the aura?
It's 5. So wisdom plus 5.
Don't roll poorly. Okay.
Alright, I'll bring you down to the guy.
I told you not to roll poorly.
Sorry.
You rolled a 12.
What do
Damn
you
it, Owen.
Killed me.
So,
expect me to do? I'm a charisma person, not intelligence or wisdom.
it's fine. Don't worry. You're not going to
I'm
take
going to
much
quote that
psychic
out of context
damage.
whenever I want. I'm a charisma person, not an intelligence person. Arwen.
I am a performance bard. I'm not a book bard, like a nerd.
You don't have to take much psychic damage. Only 6.
Ow.
You got a bit of a headache from that, and you hear the voices very, very loudly saying, help us, stop, it hurts.
Hear this beautiful tone of people suffering eternally in the
Meanwhile, you
crystallized
see
void.
Rivsam over at the side, looking like he's conducting a
Yeah,
choir. Can we get a performance roll from your conducting, Rivsam?
Yeah.
His eyes are closed, and you can just see his hands just waving ever so slightly.
That's an opera if I ever saw one.
Da, 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 da. Ah! Da, 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 da. Ah! Da, 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 da. Ah! Da, 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 da.
Imperial Philharmony of Fairytale will be envious of this performance. Providing that they are alive.
Yeah. Well, the souls are, at least, for now.
Yeah.
So, we'll say that a bit more time has passed, and the gem looks like it's about ready to be placed in. It just needs a little bit of time to cool down, and it should be good to go. Now, you guys, if you want, can look at the cipher again to make sure the placement is correct and all that, but aside from that, it looks like you'd be good to go in a few minutes.
Any words from our resident cleric? Does he look horrified?
So the cleric himself is kind of trying to understand what exactly is going on. He can kind of figure it out just from, like, Hifsam conducting and the reactions every time the gem gets struck with a chisel by you guys. And he's kind of discerning that maybe there's something not right about that gem. And he's showing visibly he's showing growing concern as to if this is actually a really good idea or not. Because the last person who tried to do this was actually a crazy dwarf wizard that was trying to bend time and space. And he's kind of thinking, maybe this isn't the safest thing to do. He goes up to you, Oust, and he's like, perhaps we should actually use the alternative that the lieutenant offered, because I don't trust this machine. The way it's being powered is beyond our capabilities and even our understanding, really. Especially since, from what I've gathered, this red stone that you're farming contains the souls of the dead. Don't you think that's a little too far?
There are many instances things I've done could be too far, etc.
Well,
This
take
is
a
just
peek.
another one among the
I mean...
Okay, ignore the war veteran. Listen here. The worst.
It's the Vietnam flashbacks.
More or less.
Alright, so take a look at it this way. Either we get chewed by zombies, or we go into a hellish nightmare of a landscape that this portal may bring us because we're using souls of suffering people. So, hypothetically, we're... Well, let's not say the F word, but we're really in a nasty position. Basically, this is the least not safeful option.
Hold
Think about
on.
it.
Let me page not the boss, but let's call it a coworker. I'm gonna try and pray to Cronox.
Okay.
Wait, do you guys think we can use the souls of happy people instead of bad people?
I mean, the souls that are inside this gem, you're not sure if they're good or bad. But
Prince Sam, may I take a guidance?
Yes, you may.
21.
21.
Here's a dialogue for gods.
Okay.
21.
Use it wisely.
21.
Luna, the
21.
cat. Hi. What are you doing, Luna?
So,
Kitty?
Yes.
Looney.
Luna.
so you managed to commune with Cronox, but he is not showing in physical form. He more shows sort of like a mental image in your mind. And he's just like, Sir Oust, how can I help you?
You have reached Cronox Incorporated.
No, this is Cronox. You're not getting his answering machine. You're
To
good.
dial Cronox, press 1. Yes.
If you're suffering from an interdimensional crisis, please stay on the line.
Elevator music. Okay.
That's
Yeah?
some shrewd thinking.
Okay.
I like the plan. It's just a good plan.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying,
Okay.
Cedric,
Yes, Oust. How can I help?
I've heard word that you can bring back the dead to the living. Is there a range of years that this can work, or
I've never really tried it past anyone who is recently dead, but there's a chance that I might be able to do it. However, I will say that my abilities have waned over the centuries, it seems. When you brought me back to life, it kind of seems like the magic that Ona had at the time has diminished significantly. The magic now that exists is very weak. I can try my
Well,
best.
maybe I
though.
have a stimulant here. I will hand him the magic apple thing. Maybe this can help.
So
Slightly, but
you reach into your sack and all you feel is mush.
I take it out anyway. Wait, I had one that is, still not ready, and one that should perish in, very soon.
Everything in your pack is mush. All those apples
Can
are
you
just
make use of it?
completely rotted. I mean, if you want to make a hard cider out of it, I wouldn't recommend it, but
Ooh! Aw.
you want to get food poisoning, then by all means.
No, man, I just really like cider.
Oh, I do too, but you're not going to want this kind of cider, trust me. It's not going to be good for anyone.
Bomber. I throw it off the cliff.
Well, basically what you do is you throw a bunch of mush off a cliff and it just kind of splatters against the ground as you throw it. Because it doesn't even make it off the cliff. It's just you throw it and then it immediately just spreads onto the ground and goes. And now there's this putrid apple-y smell that's kind of wafting up from that. You're gonna
I'm
have
joking. I'm not doing good.
You're gonna have to wash your pack later.
Worse.
Yeah. True. There was the old emergency rations. That was pretty bad.
Oh.
Although I will say to Morgak, this smell of rotted apple is kind of perfumic in a way.
he proceeds to take some and spread it over his armor.
He's getting flashbacks to his prom at the time when he met his then wife, and the female orcs would smear themselves with rotted fruit as sort of a way to attract a mate. and his wife actually just so happened to use the fermentation of apples to get his attention, and he just kind of flashed me back to that. He's like, good times.
Orc culture lore. I never thought I'd see the day.
Yeah.
Totally ignoring the entire
Beautiful.
conversation.
He is.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
No, wait, we're surviving a dead guy.
You shared a human you shared a human warrior at the buffet. It was really fun. And you gave her the last leg, and she just basically fell in love with you at that point.
The good old days
Romantic.
before she would died and my son decided to go and betray me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good times.
Called acceptance.
It's the impudence of youth. It's just the teenagers nowadays that just don't have any respect for their elders.
He's going through a phase.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that phase included being captured by a
unless we
lich.
can get over here, these souls are our best shot of getting it to function right. And unless you can commune with your god.
Oh, you were saying that to Cedric?
Yes.
So Cedric does mention that he has tried to communicate with his god several times and basically has gotten absolutely nothing from her. So either she is dead or she's just hibernating, maybe. He doesn't know. He knows that she exists, though. She is still alive in some shape or form because magic still exists on the world. If she was gone, you would notice. Oust would notice, and definitely Hifsam would notice.
Yeah, kind of missing magic would have been a rough thing.
Hi.
Okay, and Alwyn might have noticed if she rolled high enough.
Oi! Look, just because it's true does not mean it was called for.
I had to do a ding. A little bit. Okay.
That wasn't a ding. That was a stab. I mean, I didn't have much pride in the beginning, but ouch! Fuck!
At least it didn't twist.
Yeah. Okay.
You
So,
forgot to mention all the useless information on Arcana Morgak would just have on the sidelines.
also true. Yeah.
In the moment when only the sorceress, even the barbarian knew Alwyn, the barbarian.
I really want to do a prequel with Morgak's character eventually. Just have like a side thing. It's like his youth growing up. I would.
Adventures of Morgak.
Yeah, I would name it.
have-
Oh,
I
you.
I have the mental image of him just befriending a bunch of elves without him knowing it. I thought you were orcs with no teeth.
You are just, what's the word for it? Really pale.
Yeah.
Alberno?
Alberno.
Bido?
Albidens.
Albidens. Yeah, that's it. All Bidens.
You're all Bidens.
Yeah. You all look so old.
You're lucky I'm not a Trork, or I would have eaten you.
I'm not really tasty, to be honest.
Yeah, you'd be kind of gamey, I think, if they tried to cook you up. You like
All
jerky.
skin and bone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so did you want to attempt to defile a sarcophagus? Because why not? We've already gone this far.
Are there any dwarves around to stop us?
So you do have the cleric there, the dwarven cleric. The lieutenant's no longer there, but there are a couple guards just standing at the entrance just to try and keep out any prying eyes, because right now they don't want anyone noticing what they're doing right now.
Gentlemen,
Hypothetic.
now we're gonna do some pro gamer move. I'm joking, of course. What are we doing here? You should not try it, Holmes, because it's a bit how should I put it? Desecrating.
Sketchy.
Yeah, sketch.
It's sketchy.
Who has a sarcophagus in their house? How do you try
Hey.
this at home if you don't have a sarcophagus in your house?
Hey, somebody might try to
vampires
bring it.
exist, okay?
Well, there's that, yeah.
We don't judge people who bring sarcophagi at home.
Regardless.
Okay.
Oh god. The
I'm just
level of
imagining a first date. It's like, oh, who did you bring? Oh, I brought this sarcophagus. We don't judge what you bring home.
Yeah, you brought Kitty last year.
Okay, now I'm imagining All right, bring something cool to school from your home that you'd like to bring to show and tell. Why did you bring a dead body?
I found it in my closet.
I think it was my mom's friend before my dad found him.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
All right, so
Okay, so first thing we should probably check is magic, if there is any, on the sarcophagus. You know, protecting or dwelling inside.
couldn't hurt. So who wants to roll for that? Oh well.
Arcana. 22.
Nice rolls today.
Arcana today. All right, so you managed to roll high enough to notice that there are runes around the side of the sarcophagus. They are carved
they say?
into the metal sarcophagus. They don't look like they would be like any buttons or anything, but the runes are magically imbued. From what you can tell, it is some sort of seal.
Does it read anything? Does it spell out a word, a phrase?
Can I read?
Is it last week's crossword puzzle?
No. So it definitely is not
If it was
last
that,
week's
then we would
crossword
have
puzzle.
already had the answers.
So it basically reads, "He who is friend shall open and see the truth inside."
He who is friend.
Melon.
No,
Merlin
no.
is-
It's not working.
Hmm.
He who is friend. Okay, so how do you say friend in Dwarvish?
Sorry, only know Sylvan. Don't know a few others, but
Yeah, so do I.
Could sarcastically grumble it out.
I mean, if you wanted to.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
It's this. Why?
Okay. So you say friend in Dwarvish. You don't notice anything really happen. The runes don't glow. They don't disappear. Nothing. Just
Yep, nope, kind of figured.
None of it.
that did nothing.
And the exact phrase was what again?
He who
who is-
is friend shall see the truth inside.
Friend. Well, given that this is a tome of Ova, and that this whole thing was based around that, perhaps a priest of Ova could do so? Hmm?
Strong possibility.
Yep, hand him the crowbar.
No, just have him try it. Open it up first, I think.
So you're gonna have Cedric try and open it just by hand?
Yeah, no, we'll see. Maybe it's magically magicked so that he can do so.
Okay. So
Many things are magically magicked in the world.
yeah, they tend to be. All right. So you beckon Cedric over, and what exactly do you tell him to do? Do you tell him to touch it? Do you tell him to try and lift the lid? Like what?
Yeah, no, give it a little push.
Okay. So he'll be standing like here, we'll say, and he's like, oh, all right, but it doesn't look like it's going to move. And as soon as he starts shoving the lid, it just shoves off the top almost instantly, like it was weighed absolutely nothing, just like a paperweight, and it just goes on the other side with a big crash, cracking the foundation. The runes,
Made out of paper mache.
the runes that were there are no longer there. They just gone. It looks like they had been carved into it, which is odd, but they're just not there anymore.
Well, what's Cedric thinking of that? Does he look absolutely shell-shocked? Shell-shocked.
Yeah. So his hands are kind of like over the sarcophagus, just like in a pushing motion, and he's like, and he just kind of like looks down, and he's like, oh my gods, and he reaches in. You guys
What's
see
in there, laddie?
an empty coffin. You don't see anything in it. It's
Yeah,
completely
no, it's
empty.
only the friend who can see it.
Ooh,
Yeah. And
let's be friends.
he
It is
he looks inside and he pulls out something, and it looks like he's holding an object in his hand. He's got his hand kind of like holding it in front of him, and it looks like the way he's gripping it would be some form of maybe staff, sword, something that you can hold in your hand with a clenched fist. You can't see anything. None of you can. He's looking at it with wide-eyed wonder. And he's just turning over. He's like, look at this. And he just like turns towards you guys. And it's literally looking like he's just holding his fist out. Like, do you see this?
Just
This is amazing.
Saying, does blind sight actually see anything?
Nothing.
Weird.
This is some Emperor's new clothes you found there, right?
He's...
I'm gonna do a quick arcana.
Okay.
I'll do the same.
Use guidance on that.
Some weird shit.
Let's do this.
Arcanor.
I want Morgak to get it. Oh, he did!
Hey, both me and Morgak, 18.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, both you and
Yeah.
Morgak. So, Morgak, you see this long staff, and Oust, I will say you see it as well, but more faintly. It's kind of like translucent to you. Morgak sees it as bright as day. Morgak, you notice that this staff is the staff of shadow, or something very similar to it. So going way, way back at the beginning of the entire campaign, the staff
The
of shadow.
staff
Yeah,
That used the guy.
Oh,
No, that's wand.
yeah.
Is it the big invisibility thing?
Yes, basically. It
Mhm.
it has the ability to sort of freeze time, and protect a certain radius or area, the size of a small village. The downside to that is everyone inside that radius eventually forgets who they are ultimately, outside of their name and what they do as a profession. But any history, like what was happening before, they don't remember. If they are removed from that protective circle, they age rapidly and die, depending on how long the staff has been in place. So say, for example, there was a child that was in this area, and it had been 100 years before the staff was removed. If the staff is removed, anyone who was a child in that village would rapidly age and die from old age, because they would be like 105 at that point. That's basically how the staff works. So more or less this that you see in front of you, it looks near identical to the Wand of Shadow. However, it's different because a lot of you can't see it, with the exception of Morgak and Oust, in a certain sense.
Would Oust even recognize it as what it is, though?
Oust, you would not recall.
that's not good.
No. Morgak definitely would remember this, though.
What, his
Some
empty hands?
kind of a staff? Raising an eyebrow.
Huh.
So
Now I'm blind too.
Cedric,
Yeah.
Cedric says, yes, it's a staff, but it's covered in gold-laden runes, and he looks inside the sarcophagus, and this man is not dwarf. This man is human. Where is the body of the dwarf that was supposed to be here? And he's just trying to look around the side. It's like, perhaps he wasn't buried here. Perhaps he was. And Cedric just looks very confused. And he's still got the staff clenched in his hand, but he's just kind of like looking around, looking in the sarcophagus, and he's just like,
Hold on, is the staff active? Maybe that's why it's still invisible.
I would say just from a passive perception point, you feel a very strong aura around Cedric himself. All of you do.
Cedric, maybe you should turn the thing off, just in case it's active and we don't know what it can do. Whatever it is.
I mean, if you think that's a good idea, and when he goes to set down the staff, he says, problem. I can't let go. Help! And his fist is just kind of shaking in front of him. He's like, It won't let go. Help, please.
I'm not touching that.
I'm not going to push on that.
Come
All
on.
All right, we have
now.
to amputate.
All right, we're drawing sticks now.
Alwyn would let out a sigh and go over and try and grab it.
It's not there. No touchy.
You try, like, where you think you could grab it, you try and grasp it with your hands to try and pull it out, and your hands just go right through.
No touchy.
So the fist, you try and grab on either side of it, and there's air. It's literally just air.
Ugh. I was going to say possibly illusion magic, but this is something else. Bullshit, that's what it is.
Oh, so your class school. A bullshit magic. Curious. Alright, so what do we do now? So basically it's a human inside, right? Maybe you can, make him talk. Or try to.
Cedric is still kind of worried about the fact he can't drop this staff right now. He's kind of concentrating on that issue at the moment.
That's correct. Maybe the undead, invisible, untouchable person can tell you. Hypothetically.
Okay, I will try. And with his other hand, he places his hand in the sarcophagus, presumably over the skull of the remains. And you see him, close his eyes. And then you see his open his eyes, and they are completely white.
Oh dear.
And
Are you okay?
now you hear two voices coming out of his mouth.
And now roll for initiative.
You hear sort of like an echo. You hear Cedric's voice, but it is more faint. You hear a more gravelly, deeper voice.
We have been trying to get to you about your car insurance.
Perfect.
Did you know that cars cost less in Wetaskiwin?
No. No, the voice basically says, "Who has disturbed my slumber? Who dare
did?
steal from me, mortals?"
Are you dead?
Sir,
Not so much theft, no. That was not the plan at all.
we came to ask a couple of questions, if you don't mind. We are...
I
we're-
mind. I was sleeping.
Oh, my
Apologies.
condolences.
But it was necessary.
Bit of an invasion, I'm afraid. Your rest would have been interrupted regardless.
Correct.
Who
So,
is this
may we know
man
who are
that I
you?
speak through? He is young and virile. I may keep his body.
Ugh.
Uh,
Cleric of Ova.
Over. It has been a long time since I've heard that name uttered.
well, you were sleeping long, to be honest. Probably.
And who
I would assume
are
at least
you
centuries.
people? What do you want from me?
I am Arthur, King of the Brits.
What is your quest?
I seek the phylactery of Dagon.
What is your favorite color?
Blue!
I can't really see color.
No, yellow.
Blue.
That'd be red.
Okay. Anyway, enough joking around. So yeah, he asked what you want from him.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
I know, I couldn't either.
We seek
So-
information on the portal in the room behind you. On its operation, as it were.
And of the staff the person you possessed is holding. We kind of want to, deactivate it.
That staff contains my soul. What do you mean, deactivate it?
Well, at least...
Oh, no.
Oh. Okay, and who you are, this noble person with such a beautiful staff.
The sudden amount of nope in Al's expression.
My name is Tim? I forget.
Oh, well, Mr. Tim, you forget. Regardless of the staff, the portal, do you know anything about it? How can we activate it?
I know not of a portal. Here. Wait. Where am I exactly?
In the land far away.
Now you're talking
The Dwarvish Kingdom, the city of...
city-wise or geographically.
Geographically, please.
Underground?
Underground where?
Go ahead and tell him the general location of the world.
The current year is 1036, if that helps.
We're at Kegram's Gate.
Kagram's Gate? What? Oh. Do you happen to know anyone by the name of Stonebeard?
We hope that we can find him where you lie.
Good luck with that. From what I remember, he was waving his fingers at me as he went through a portal. Before he trapped me in this cursed scepter and left me to rot in his prison.
Hmm.
It's coming
Well-
back to me now. I was his assistant. I was here to help him complete his experiment. Turns out it worked. But he, in all his wise and glory and incomparable, insufferable self, decided to take all the credit for himself and leave me to deal with the consequences. If I find him, I'm going to kill him.
You're gonna stick. How are you gonna do that?
I'll find a way, smartass!
He's not really that much of a smartass.
And, since you managed to, let's say, entrap your soul into this scepter...
No, he didn't. It
I
was the dwarf that did so.
Oh, I see. Okay. So, if your soul is entrapped here, then you might remember what was the plan of the Master Stonekeeper.
Oh, well, his plan was to go back in time and become the most rich and powerful dwarf that ever existed. Unfortunately for him, well, as far as I can tell, that never happened. Otherwise, you'd all be speaking Dwarvish right now.
How do you know this isn't dwarfish?
It's the common tongue of dwarvish.
I do not recognize the accent, so therefore it
Of
didn't
course you
work.
would. We'd be in an alternate timeline. You wouldn't recognize it.
Look, let me put it to you this way. Is your Lord and Savior Stonebeard?
Listen here, you little shit.
Do you worship a dwarven lord named Stonebeard? No. You know why? Because that little shit probably died on the way through the portal. Probably got torn to pieces in the time continuum or whatnot. Either way, he didn't obviously survive the trip. Or if he did, well, I would know.
So
Thing
pretty
is,
much
we go
don't
through the
use the portal. Gotcha.
Okay, so can you at least, make our friend Cedric, who you are currently possessing, drop the staff, because, we don't know what can happen to him if he still holds it.
I mean, he was about to reform your body, so...
I don't want a reformed body, I want his. It is in far better shape than the one that I currently have.
If he
Clearly.
makes you a new body, then your body would be better than his body.
It's yours after all.
Yeah.
I
You don't
think
know how his bodily functions work. Maybe you will start scratching yourself for no reason. You can't know that.
So he immediately reaches down to his crotch area, and he's like,
Oh yes, I think I'll be keeping this one.
How about this? You go back in your body, or I'm going to have my axe absorb your soul.
If you kill me, you doom your friend. Good luck with that.
I never said he was my friend.
Okay,
Well,
let's not
Wouldn't
go
that
into
be a
conflict
shame?
yet.
To lose the only person in this entire world that could possibly assist you to open this portal? Hmm? Don't
Well,
you
we found
need
the other way, so, you know. We're just asking for the alternative. Alternatively, we can leave you here forever without your revenge. So, you know, we can restore you to your body with, you know, even so if you don't like it as much as this one, and help you with your vengeance or whatever. Or you can just stay here, dead, probably with no either body, because look at this orc, nobody can stop him when he starts murdering. And, you know, spend your eternity in this staff. I don't think you want to spend eternity doing nothing here. I mean, it's ugly, it's damp. Undeads are coming.
If you're particularly doubtful of what his axe can do, Morgak, give him a show. I have a few
my
stones
friend,
left
I
after
am
all.
not at all worried about what that axe can do. Clearly, it could kill me, yes. However, why don't I make you a deal? I promise not to harm your friend. In exchange, I will assist you in getting this portal up and running. This man, who I currently possess, is young and inexperienced. I, on the other hand, know exactly how this machine works and how to turn it on. You help me do that and seek my revenge on Stonebeard, and I will release him. I promise you that. As soon as Stonebeard comes to my vengeful and completes that, then I will be happy to leave. Into the ether, into the darkness. Until that happens, I am not leaving his body. I think that is a fair exchange. He will be protected by me.
Well,
Okay. As far as you can tell, this being, whoever it is very powerful, and if he can possess a body just through touch, there's a good chance that he'll be able to do other things to satisfy that and protect his vessel he is using.
Well,
Well,
I mean, it seems to be a lose-lose situation no matter what we do. Could possibly be to our benefit.
you go back on your word, you die. It's simple as that.
I
We
go back on
understood.
my word. You die first. However, you kill your friend. Sure, I'll be dead. But your friend will be too. I'd like to think you like him at least a little bit more than me at this moment.
we know him for less than a month, so, you know, we still have goals to attain. Alright, so a
Yeah.
couple of questions before we even think of accepting this deal. Do you know who a person named Dagon is?
Couldn't tell you. I've been in a sarcophagus for thousands of years. I'm a little behind on the current happenings of the world.
Alright, question number 2. What are your relations with Oa and God of Time?
Actually, past that, there's also question number 3, but I'll wait.
I and Stonebeard, and apparently this young man here, are worshippers of Ova. Kind of seems that we're the last of our kind.
And what happened to Ova, if you know?
I couldn't tell you that. The only thing that I can say right now is I do not feel her presence as strongly as I once did. That's the only thing that I could tell you from that.
Alright.
Well,
Oh, you can have your question.
your soul was placed into that scepter. Do you have a way of finding similar objects?
You notice that Cedric's eye kind of like turns to you and an eyebrow raises. He's like,
Oh, is there more than one?
A lich.
I assume it's the Dagon you mentioned?
Indeed.
Well, if one exists in this world, I can find it. I can find it, and I can tell you exactly where it is, anywhere. So long as I'm on the correct plane of existence, so to speak.
And, well, it more or less cements things, doesn't it? One question beyond that. What do you know of the King in Yellow?
Oh, he's a good friend of mine. Just kidding! Haha! No. No. I would not mess with that being if it was the last thing I had to do before I died to make sure that Stonebeard was killed. I would not make a deal with that man if he provided me the most gold in the world. That being itself is pure evil and should be avoided at all cost.
Yeah, I felt that on my skin.
He walks the material plane.
you see
Sorry,
Cedric's...
I went and grabbed some banana bread.
That's okay. You see Cedric's brow kind of furrow, and his eyes close, and a few moments pass, and the eyes open again, and even through the complete glowing whiteness of those pupils, you can kind of see a almost defeated look. And he's like, ah, yes, I feel him here. How did that happen? Who let him here?
Take a wild guess, bucko.
Well, if I had to guess, it was the Lich. And if I had to infer further, I'd have to presume that you failed to stop him. Would I be correct in that?
Hey, we tried our best, but you're correct.
Killed him. I don't know what you wanted me to do.
He
We
can't...
managed to,
No,
Yeah.
for lack of a better term, hold it off as much as we can, but you can only go so far, right?
Well,
now we must go beyond.
Super orc. Ultra instinct Morgak? What is this?
I was going to say that the next title of the next session is going to be Beyond the Stars at this point. To boldly go. I'm making it that one. We're going to do that. So Cedric, or Tim in this case, just basically lets out a deep sigh.
and he says, well, it looks like we're stuck with each other for now, aren't we? I will help you find a way to get this portal open, and I will make sure that this city and its inhabitants are put on a safe realm while we deal with this Dagon and his minions.
I find this agreeable.
I would too. I'm sad for my friend Cedric, but then again, somebody has to take the sacrifice.
I mean, he'll be fine afterwards, provided things work out. Even then, this actually gives him a better chance of survival. Though
Correct.
I think the lack of freedom in his movements won't be appreciated when things are said and done.
I don't know. Being a roommate in your own head is not the best.
I mean, you're not the one that would know. Glancing over to Rivsam.
Well, he communes
Well,
with
look at
his
her.
dead alternative and allows the possession to occur. Willingly. This one is more sort of like a parasite.
I mean, he's a stone for how long? He'll be fine.
Yeah.
One other thing. Do you perhaps know magics that could subvert petrifications?
My boy, I can do anything that you can imagine. somewhat even beyond your capabilities. As I said,
Dick.
I am a worship of Ova. And to answer your question, also no.
Okay,
Take a
the
look at
first
this.
thing that came into mind is, I can do anything better than you. That's the first thing.
This staff kind of comes
Perhaps-
off as like one of the most cockiest staffs you've ever met. Probably the only cocky staff you've ever met. It's very
Oh my
cocksure.
As a settlement to Cedric when things are said and done, you could free the others at that church we found him in.
Of
I have
course.
them on me right now.
If you bring them to me, I would have no trouble doing so.
Well,
Alright,
When
also,
we're-
one more question. I take out those wishing stones from long, long ago. Can you tell me, in one word, what this can do?
fuck
Well, 2
you
words.
over. Well, I need 3 words. Fuck you over.
So he looks at those stones and he says,
They're as worthless as my shit. Did you even... I don't understand why you're even carrying those around. Those are literally just rocks.
Oh, hell yeah.
He turns to the wall, throws it as hard as he can.
God damn it! Make a dexterity save.
I'm fine. It's okay. Well, I guess this means our contract is sealed.
What's that?
Mr. Thim,
The contract
contract
is
is-
sealed.
sealed.
Would you have a
Mr.
name
Tim.
you'd want to go by among us?
For now, just call me Tim. That's all I can remember from this point. It's perfectly serviceable.
Tim it is then.
All right. So I'm actually going to leave it at that, just because it's getting close to a 3-hour session. However, it shouldn't
fair.
take nearly as long to get the next one put together because I do have an idea of what to do next. So we will leave it at that. You and your friends have made a new friend who is possessing
Yay.
your friend Cedric now. So yeah.
So we lost a friend, again a friend.
There you
We
go.
have no friends, more or less.
I mean, if we get the 2 people unstoned, then we'd have 3.
I was
What?
about to say this just seems to be more like the laws of equivalent exchange.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, the leap in logic of Cedric opening the tomb seems to have ended in a way that is satisfactory.
You found someone more knowledgeable
Correct.
than Cedric to actually open the portal. So there you go.
Yeah. And so we might not have to use the redstone after all.
You guys owe
Maybe.
so many NPC favors right now. It's kind of funny. Like,
Have on our string the entire
Correction.
refer-
Most of them, but the paladins owe so many NPCs favors.
also true.
Who the fuck do I owe favors with?
You promised Nizana Duval to find her daughter. Kind of still working
Oh.
on that part, aren't ya?
Oh yeah,
I'm
no.
promising.
Wait, yeah. Who do I owe a favor to? Aside from family?
That's basically what you owe to. Is just like finding your son. At this point,
Just basic fatherly instinct.
you got to find your
Oh,
son.
that
Owen's got to
Brandon
find the
Gorgat.
missing daughter.
Rated M for Morgak.
Tim wants revenge on Stonebeard for putting his soul into a wand and then sealing him in a tomb, you know, as you do.
Okay, so I just want to make sure. So Tim's going to open up the portal. We send the cities to another dimension where they'll probably be okay. And then we're going to go into that portal too, and then hunt around for the soul gem. I forgot what it's called.
Yeah, just call it a soul gem. That works.
And then hunt down Dagon. And then kill Dagon. Gotcha.
Yeah, pretty much.
But we are going in the portal, or are we staying put here?
So
Well, I guess we'd probably. He said he can find the stone thing.
yeah, he said he
so,
could find the staff that Dagon has, the Wand of Shadows.
Yeah.
And he
And,
can find it on any plane of existence. So if he
So
can't
we're searching
find it
one
here,
plane?
then that means he's on a
Yeah.
different plane.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So we have a
Find that.
tracking dog now. Beautiful.
Yeah, you got a bloodhound, basically.
We can
One
Magic
invisible
bloodhound.
stick to find an invisible stick.
Where's the soul, boy? Where's the soul? Go get it.
Go get it, boy. You
To
get it.
find the invisible stick, I became the invisible stick
Impossible.
to truly know your enemy.
By the way, that wand you found, the Wand of Souls.
Hmm.
Yeah. Just so happens there's only one soul in it.
Oh, so
Beautiful.
wait, no longer the Staff of Shadows, it's just a Wand of Soul.
Well, Staff of Souls, I guess I could say, because it's a long staff. So yeah, Wand of Souls would be
Stick
like a
of
little
souls.
stick. Yeah,
This
the
is
Stick of
it.
Souls.
This is the truth, Riv Sam. The further
is.
you carve your stick, and you get sent back in time.
Maybe it's
This all
the
makes
toothpick
sense
of
now.
time.
God damn it. That would actually make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
God damn it. I enchanted my toothpick.
In a
To
twist,
insane
the toothpick
proportion.
is Chronox.
All right, I'm
And
just
in
gonna
the end,
end this stream
Riv
there
Sam is
and
over.
stop recording. So we're all done.
God.
That's dystopian.